That's why Drax is out.
And we're live, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just before someone says something they regret.
What?
Chat. We are back again for another Wednesday night Curse of Strahd. And welcome back to Roast and Chicken, who has managed to join us this week. So Adak is returning, thank God, because I don't really play him too well. So
You're fine.
Yeah, you did all right.
Anywho, so hopefully everyone can hear me in the chat. Hopefully you guys can hear the crew. I'm still having a few minor audio issues. Hopefully we're all good. Let's get some music running there and make sure that's working.
You got a cat?
Yes, we got a cat. He's a noisy fucker and I'm tempted to lock him outside.
And audio sounds good.
Music's coming through, I think. Sounds like it.
Hey, it's Tuddy Nut.
The Tuddy Nut.
Hi, Nade.
Yep, music's coming through. Cool, I think that solved the problem there, so we're good. As I said, after today, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be stripping down my system and adding my streaming PC into the setup, so hopefully it's all back and running by Sunday. That should solve the minor audio issues I'm having at the moment. I'll be running back up to running dual PCs, which will mean as of next week, be some gaming content added. I have posted in the Discord that if any of the regular viewers that are interested in running Stream Raiders, let me know your interest, because if you do, I'll run it. If you don't, I don't. It's I've seen it in Magic Stream, looks pretty cool, but kind of interactive, having that stuff running. I'm not going to do it during D&D, obviously. Oh my god, Cameron. What the fuck, man? But for the gaming content, if you guys want Stream Raiders, let me know in the Discord. If you don't know what Discord and you want to join the Discord, ! Discord in the chat. We'll give you all the details. But there is a post in there, or DM me, just let me know your interest. If I don't get enough interest, I'm not going to bother putting it in. But it's there if you want it. Anyway, and without any further ado, before Cameron does a multi-zoom again, let's get into the channel, into the show. Right, the last we left off, you had decided to take Strahd up on his dinner invitation. Adok decided that he really didn't want to go, but really wanted to check out Rictavia's room. So after a little bit of discussion and back and forth with Karnos and the group, it was agreed that Adok was to stay behind. He would hang out a little bit with Ismark and Irina so that he wasn't alone, and he was going to see if he can get into Rictavia's room to see if he can find out more about him. From there, the rest of you left Valaki and headed towards the windmill, which you'd been told was intact after you'd previously destroyed it. Along the way, you had a small encounter with a couple of ravens, one of which Karnos threw an axe at. Turns out these ravens weren't exactly ravens, but were-ravens, one of which you knew already as Erwin Martikov, the owner of the Blue Water Inn in Valaki. He, after this short discussion and calming the situation between Karnos and the rather large mute were-raven, he asked that you see him on your return. He may have a job for you to do. You then proceeded to the windmill, which indeed you found in a less than disrepair state, not unlike you found it when you first came across it and when you first arrived in Barovia. Searching through the windmill, you discovered that the hags were no longer there, and it looked like it had been fairly well abandoned since you were last here. The few cupcakes that remained were starting to grow mold and such, bones on the floor, the dust. But eventually, with the aid of everybody, you piled a large amount of debris, wood, cloth, whatever you could find, into the center of the first floor of the windmill. Emilia, using her abilities, spiraled a flaming ball around the windmill to set it alight, eventually resting into this bonfire in the center. You stood and watched as the windmill re-burnt to the ground a second time. With that, as the night started to draw in, you headed towards the castle, reaching the crossroads where, as promised, a black carriage drawn with two large black stallions was waiting for you. The door seemingly opening on its own, inviting you to step inside, which you all did, and the carriage headed towards the master's castle. As you neared the castle, a storm started to close in, the lightning flashing every 10 or 15 minutes or so, the thunder rolling, then a steady, heavy rain started to fall. This seemed to go on most of the evening. You ended up coming to the entranceway of Castle Ravenloft, a large portcullis opening allowing you to cross a stone bridge into the main courtyard. This imposing building looming before you out of the darkness, lightning crashing, thunder rolling in all around you. You were met at the doorway, in the main sort of doorway of the large castle, by an elven servant who led you into a large dining hall, where you found Strahd playing a large pipe organ at the rear of the dining hall. As you entered, he stopped, stood up, and met you at the table. He sat, you all eventually took your seats, and a conversation was had. Back and forth. It was not too bad, but conversation was tense, and very little information was surrendered by Strahd. And after some time, as the night drew in, he retired, and you were invited to stay. Rahadin escorted you to the guest hall, where you had decided to stay in one room together for your own peace of mind and your own safety. Even though Strahd had promised you would be safe and you would return to Valaki safely the next day. Much discussion was had during the evening before eventually sleep took most of you, about questions that you wish you had asked Strahd and were possibly going to ask in the morning if you were able to catch his attention. You eventually all found sleep, with Karnos taking a small watch to begin with, and then Zadriel. But eventually you all found your rest, and we now rejoin the heroes as the morning breaks. The storm broke in the early hours of the morning and has slowed, so that the rain is still falling, but the thunder and the lightning seems to have dissipated and moved into the distance. So, with that, we will actually not start with the crew at the castle. We will actually start this episode with Adok, who's back in Valaki. He has stayed the evening at the church with Ismark and Irina, and well, actually, we join him at the evening prior to the morn. So this is we're going to rejoin you probably about an hour or two after your companions left for the windmill, right before dusk hits in the township of Valaki. You have sat and talked with Ismark and Irina for an hour or so. Ismark has sort of told you that she seems better. She seems to be recovering nicely in the church, and she looks better. She looks like she has gained a little bit of colour back. And pretty much now it is up to you what you wish to do. You have a mission to complete, something you've been wanting to do since your suspicions of Rictavio were aroused. So, Mr. Adok, what are we up to? Your microphone has crapped out. I'm not sure what is happening, but we cannot hear you.
Is it good now?
There we go.
Hey, all right. Sorry, I was laughing at the choice of word aroused before, but
Yeah, kind of. I see that. Small minds and things, but we'll carry on.
So I've been talking with Ismark, but still at the church.
So you're at the church currently.
Fantastic. Yeah, Ismark around at the moment?
He is. You are both sitting in the church. You were just having a general conversation, and he's informed you he's getting ready to go head up and check on Irina, and probably turn in himself for the evening.
Ismark?
Yes.
You ever get a feeling that someone might not be who they say they are, and it, leads you to think otherwise about certain people? I'm speaking about Rictavio. You ever notice that he's a little bit weird?
Rictavio, I have not met him personally to talk to for any length of time, but
right. Fantastic.
He is very flamboyant, you would say.
Yes.
Which stands out here, of course.
Right, exactly. So what I was thinking was that, anyway, I tried to question him with Zadriel for a little bit. Did a little bit of a wiggity-woggity, it's a bit of a spell to see if he could tell the truth. He got nothing out of him. So, my mind has been thinking this whole time that things aren't quite what it seems with him. So, keep a long story short, I want to break into his room.
Wait, what?
Yep. Can I break into his room? Can you help me? Yes or no? Real quick.
You wish to steal from him?
The correct term will be just to break into his room and then have a look around. I wasn't going to take anything. Maybe I might take something if it's worth something.
You think he is not who he says he is? You think he is someone else?
Pretty sure. Well, yeah. 40-60%.
I see. And what help may I offer?
Well, you see, I was scouting around a bit of the building to see if there's a way in. Now, I found out that his windows, for some reason, a little bit left cracked. I either need you to give me a boost up there, or help me onto the roof, or be a distraction. Choice is yours.
Well, I could help you onto the roof, definitely. I do not want to be involved in the actual breaking in of his room. This is not something I'm comfortable with. But if you are sure that you can get in and out without being noticed, I should be able to help you onto the roof of the inn. It is not hard. There's plenty of places there we can boost you up.
Right. It's settled. When you want to leave, maybe Darkfall probably is best, yeah?
Yes, it will be getting dark soon. If you wish to wait for maybe 30 minutes, I'll go check on Odina and I'll come back and we can head out.
Great. That seems like a good idea. One more thing. Have you got some rope or like a grappling hook? Do you know what a grappling hook is?
Yes, I am familiar with a grappling hook. I do not have one, but I do have rope.
Okay, great. Well, maybe bring some rope. That might help as well.
Alright, I will be back. Just give me a little while. And with that, he excuses himself and heads through a door at the back of the church. And after about 30-40 minutes or so, he returns and says to you, alright, are you ready? Shall we go?
Oh, yeah, relatively. Sorry, just eating a bit of something. Let's head off.
And we head off. So with that, you leave the church and you head towards the inn. The whole time, Ismark seems nervous. You can tell he's definitely not used to doing things outside of the law. And so he's a little nervous, but he is willing to help. So you and him head towards Blue Water Inn, and you get towards the back of the Blue Water Inn where it looks like a storage area or stable area is attached to the back of the inn. There's a pile of boxes and bits and pieces on the back of that, and Ismark sort of gives you a nudge, which almost nudges you in the head. He tries to bend down, nudge in the shoulder, but he kind of misjudges, almost gets you in the ear, and says, that would be a good place, I think, to get you onto the roof. And you sort of look up and you'll see that where he's pointing to would get you onto the lower section of the inn's roof. The rest of it would have to be up to you. But it looks like you'd be okay to scale the rest of it from there. Just getting onto it might have been a bit of a mission on your own.
Great, yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, you give me a boost up there, and I'll climb. I'll do the rest. I'll figure it out. Might need to take that rope just for safety precaution. And you do me one more favour. Once I'm up on the roof, could you actually? Sorry, 1 second. Could you actually keep a lookout for me? And maybe, I don't know, we could have like a little bit of a voice signal or something in case there's something coming my way. You can make a call of a bird.
Yeah, I'm not good at the bird call. I will. I cannot whistle either, unfortunately. But
maybe you could just yell guard or something.
I will think of something. If something happens, you will know. And with that, he hands you 50 feet of rope and gives you a boost up onto the first. He gets up on the first lot of boxes, pulls you up, then boosts you up onto the roof.
Great. So, and then to get to the other ledge, I'd have to scale down or back or up more.
You would have to get to the next level up to where Octavio's window is. You would have to go up another level, which is you would have to sort of move around the roof to have it to find the section where you could possibly climb up. It is a little bit out of your reach to sort of jump up and pull yourself up, so you will have to sort of scout around a little bit. So I need you to roll an investigation check for me. As you disappear onto the roof. It's a thatched roof. It's not like it's thatched and wooden, so it's not like it's like you'll fall through it, but there are places you step it's a little soft and you think, shit, I might break something, but you're pretty light, so you're able to move through.
I got a 5.
So you're up there for like an hour before you eventually find a place where you think you might be able to use your rope to maybe lasso, like looks like might be like a chimney, might be from a potbelly stove or something, poking up through, which is quite near to where Octavio's room is. So it might even be the potbelly stove from his room. But you can see that from where you are, and you'd possibly be able to lasso it and climb up on the rope.
Alright, I'm going to try, I'd like to try and make a lasso and throw it around that chimney.
So you will need to make a dexterity check, just a dexterity plus a 20 plus your dex plus your proficiency. because you are proficient. Are you proficient in dexterity? I don't think you are actually. So it's just a d20 plus dex.
So I got 17 for that one.
17. So you are familiar with knots. Your skills as an artificer, you're able to craft a loop which slides. Not unlike a cowboy, you run the noose around your head, you twirl it around, you throw it, and it catches the edge and slips down over top of this little pipe, this little stovepipe with a little cap on it. You give it a tug, then the slip knot slips up and tightens around the pipe. You sort of yank on it, lift your weight on it, make sure it's not going to move, and it seems like it's going to hold. So you now have a way onto the next section of roof. You wouldn't need to make a strength check or anything to climb. You're climbing maybe 8 feet, so it's not like it's a huge climb.
Before I start climbing, can I make a look around to see if there's anyone like scouting around the building
Roll
or anything like that?
You have not heard anything from Ismark at this point. He seems to be quiet, but your perception check?
I got a nat 20, but it's -1, so it's 19.
Natural 20 on a natural 20. So with that, you look around. You take 10 minutes, and you really have a good scout around. And you see a patrol off in the distance. They started wandering around, lighting the lanterns around town. You see Ismark sort of wandering around the base building, sort of even now and again nervous. He looks up towards the roof.
Just give him like a thumbs up.
He sort of gives you a nod. He doesn't raise his hand. He sort of gives you a nod and keeps sort of wandering around. But you determine that if you're going to go now, now's the time. It seems relatively safe. So you scale the rope onto the next section of roofing. You will need to make another dex check as you scale around towards Octavio's window. This section's a little steeper, so it will take you a little bit of effort just to scale around the side.
Okay, this sounds a bit better. I got a 19.
19. Again, you're light. You're able to find your footing reasonably well, even in the dark. And you scale around and you find yourself now at Octavio's window. It is cracked open just a little bit. You get the impression that, hey, this is on the second floor. No one's going to be able to get up here without some sort of, or without being seen. This is on the side of the inn, which is exposed. So with that perception check you had before, as you look around, you can see some people walking around. You can see the patrol. They're not really taking any notice of what's happening. You are relatively hidden in the dark. I need you to make a stealth check for me, just quickly.
I got a 20 on the stealth and a dirty 20.
Nice. So as far as you're aware, you're completely hidden. Now for the window. As you attempt to open the window, even though it's cracked, it won't open. Like, it seems to be caught or tethered with something. And as you look down the cracked window, you can see that there's like a iron bar of sorts that is hooked over a little owl plate on the window, holding it that way.
I was just gonna say, before I go to actually open the window, can I cast Detect Magic?
You can.
30-foot sphere radius, just around me, to see if there's like, because I've seen Phil will do an alarm of some sort for magic, so just to make sure.
And it does not appear to be anything on the window itself. Nothing lights up around the window. A couple of things light up in the room. But apart from that, and the magical skill from the things in the room, it's like transmutation and other magic. Like, it's not dangerous magics. It's not abjuration or anything like that. So it seems pretty safe.
But they're magic. So I would just mentally take a note of where those would ping up. Not that I'm planning to take them at all.
No worries. So with that, you now examine the window and notice it is latched from the inside. You will have to attempt to unlatch it with something. It's not big enough to get your hand in.
Is it big enough, perchance? Because did I take my backpack with me or no? Probably not. If I scaled a wall, right?
Your backpack's not that loaded, is it? I'd imagine you probably.
Really.
I would imagine you probably would have taken it with you. It's up to you.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, so how big does this go? Does it look like either the barrel that I've got would fit through, or a bunch of pliers would fit through?
I would say probably. Yeah, the barrel. Probably the barrel. The like you're talking about your flute, your blowpipe. Yeah, that would fit. Yeah, that would fit through, definitely.
Okay, so I would just open my coat. I would open my coat up and just start like pulling out the barrel just slowly and quietly, and then trying to just gently go towards the latch and knock it so it comes undone, so I can open the window.
Make a dexterity check for me.
Got another dirty 20.
Easily enough done. You reach in very carefully, find the pivot point, give it a quick flick, and the latch gives way, and the window swings open about 6 inches.
Okay. Can I also try and take a mental note of exactly the position of the window, where it was, the gap, the latch, how it was?
Yep. You're able to do that. Yeah, well, it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, you can see it was on there's several holes on this steel latch, and it was on the one closest to the window, which made it stay on that gap. And you can see the mechanism and how it would actually close. Quite an easy mechanism, almost like a levering mechanism, and there's an little steel L plate on the frame, which you're able to hook onto the steel thing to have it open at different intervals.
Okay. So with that, yeah, I'd like to quietly try and open the window, just enough so that I can do a stealth barrel roll into the room.
The window opens outwards. It's on a side. The hinge is on the side, so easy enough to swing it open. The window is big enough for you to get in. Roll a acrobatics to barrel roll into the room.
I've got a 16.
Pretty deftly done as you barrel roll through the window into the room, landing on your feet, almost in the Superman pose on the floor, with a quick glance around to see that definitely no one in the room. You don't see anybody. Have you got dark vision as a goblin? You have, haven't you? Yep. So even the dim light from the outside, you see that in Octavio's room is a bed. I will bring it up. I'm pretty sure I can bring up his room for you on the chat and make it a little bit easier. When the thing will let me do it. God damn it. It's being a bitch.
Whilst you're doing that, with those magical things that popped up in his room, can I go and start inspecting them?
You can. The first thing that came up as a magical nature was a book, which was sitting on the desk, which I'll bring this up now. A map reference. So what you get, this is the window you come in at the bottom left here, and there is a small chest, there's a bed, there's a chair and a desk. The book on the desk is what is the first thing that lit up that you noticed. The chest also lights up with magical properties, but it appears locked from what you can tell.
I do like me a bit of a challenge. So I'm gonna go have a look at the book.
What languages does Adok read, perchance?
Common and Goblin.
So just Common and Goblin? At first glance, when you look at the book, it's closed. The title, it's a word that you are unfamiliar with. You're not sure what sort of language it's in, whether it is common or not. So you reach over to it and you open it up, and the first page you open it up to, again, the words just seem odd. You flip through a few more pages, and as you hold this book in your hands, the words start to move on the page. It's kind of weird. But after about 5 or 6 minutes or so of just flipping through, the words start to make sense. You flip back to the cover, and on the cover of the book is a picture of a lute, and all it says on there, it's a number of words, poems, jokes, and songs, and at the bottom, Bard Rictavio. It's almost like it's been handmade.
I'm going to open up my satchel and just pocket that in there for later.
No worries.
And then...
Yep.
Sorry?
From there, like I said, pretty much you put that in your book, in your bag, that's not a problem. You look around the room, as I say, the chest has showing a magical signature, nothing else has. Except as you sort of glance around and you notice the door, and the lock is also giving off a slight magical signature as well.
The lock to the door on the inside to get into the room.
Yes.
Okay. I will go to the chest, but before I do that, can I look around the desk or anything like that to see if there's anything that resembles a journal or anything?
Roll investigation.
Got a 6.
You rummage through the desk and nothing really stands out, apart from that one book. That it was a solid bound leather book. There's a inkwell and a quill, and nothing else really seems to stand out.
Okay. Yeah, noticing that I failed to probably find anything that would start describing maybe if there's anything more. I'd start to walk over to the chest. It's locked, yeah?
It is. It appears to be locked. Looks like it's got a large bronze padlock on the front.
Great, fantastic. I'm gonna crack my knuckles in my hands. I'm gonna whip out my thieves' tools.
Roll to. So is it sleight of hand to unlock the chest?
Yes, but before I would like to do a little goblin incantation and cast guidance on myself and touch myself.
Adok touches himself in the special place and guides himself.
Yeah, and then go to try to unlock this lock.
Roll sleight of hand.
So I got 21. I can add guidance on it on top of that as well if you want.
Yep. Yeah, go for it.
I got a 1, so 22.
22. You take your thieves' tools out. You start working on the lock. The first thing you notice is that at the moment you get your thieves' tools in there, it seems like it's a double or a triple lock. It's not just a single lock. You manage to breach the first. You hear that clicking sound. You start working on what seems to be the second tumbler, and it takes you about 5 or so minutes, and you manage to breach the second. As you reach the third and you start working on the third, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Nat 1. I got a 6.
A natural 1 on the con save. As you work on that third lock, you start feeling lightheaded. All of a sudden, just out of the blue, just instantly feel like you're just really lightheaded and faint. And then all of a sudden, you collapse on the floor. Your knees give out underneath you. And uncontrollably, your body just goes into convulsions. And you will take 8 points of necrotic damage. As some weird sensation has come over your body, and for the next 5 or so minutes you are just racked with pain. Eventually it subsides and you sort of come back to focus. Your eyes are watering from the pain, and the lock is still intact. Your lockpicks are sitting on the floor in front of it, still intact.
Oh, that wasn't such a great idea. I'm going to walk over to the window, Pick myself back up and look over. Is Mark anywhere that I can see?
You sort of the windowsill's at about your height, so you after a little bit you're able to pull yourself up back to the windowsill, and Ismark is sort of wandering around still. You can see him wandering backwards and forth, and nothing seems to be out of place down there at the moment. You can't really see anything. You can't see the patrols. He's not really looking up at you. He's sort of just milling around, sort of keeping an eye on things like you asked.
I would like to try and whistle and get his attention.
And as you whistle, he looks around, and then eventually he looks really nervous, and he's sort of looking around, and eventually looks up and notices you.
I'm gonna beckon him to come closer towards the windowsill.
So he walks closer to the building. He is about 12, 14 feet below you now. Within talking distance, but it's still... whispering's going to be hard from this distance.
Yeah. I'm just going to give him a weight signal. Then I'm going to go back to the chest. I'm going to try and see how heavy it is, how big it is to...
Make a strength check.
Yeah. I got a nat 1, so that's a 0.
It is heavy. You tried and lift it up, and either something's not quite right, but either it was the damage you just took, or the whatever it was that afflicted you has sapped your strength, but you are unable to pick it up.
Okay. I definitely shouldn't probably start pulling apart the bed and making a leverage to lever it out of the windowsill. I'm gonna try one more time with the lockpicks and see how I do this time.
Roll sleight of hand.
I got a 14.
Take a deep breath, knowing the damage you just took. You look at the lockpick, you look at the lock, and you set to work. You get through the first one, no problem at all. Start on the second, as you hadn't quite... and the first thing you know is when you first go back into the 2 previous locks had reset after whatever had happened. So you managed to get through the first. You start working on the second, and eventually you hear tink as you break one of your lockpicks.
How solid... you know what? Frustrated. I'm gonna punch the lock.
I'm gonna punch it. Make a strength check again. Yes, you don't even... Your unarmed strike's 0, isn't it? So you don't even do any damage to the lock at all, and in fact you would probably take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you hurt yourself. You'd probably smash your knuckles on this brass lock.
So then grimace in pain, but try to keep quiet. At this point, can I hear if anyone's starting to come up
Roll
around the room?
Roll a perception check.
Hang on. There we go. 7.
You stop and you listen for a little bit. You do hear voices, but you have no idea where it is. Whether it's below you, beside it's muffled, so you know it's in the building. You hear the voices of 2 young boys, which you would assume would be the Martikovs' kids, and you hear the voice of a woman. It sounds quite stern. So you almost get the impression that maybe Mum's telling the boys off for something.
Okay.
But there are definitely there's definitely people in the building. You know there is.
Okay. Well, I've got a book. Is there anything else around this room that might stick out as a little bit weird or anything for a bard or an entertainer to have at this point?
Roll another investigation for the room. I mean, there's nothing much in the desk.
I got an 11.
11? Yeah, not really. You sort of quickly... You're starting to feel nervous now that you might get caught. So you're starting you just sort of quickly rummage through a few things. Rummage through the cupboard, around the bed, under the bed. You do find a small purse of about 25 gold pieces.
I'd definitely take that.
I kind of figured you would. But apart from that, that's about it.
Okay, so with the rest of that, I would go outside the window, and if I can, try and put the windowsill and the latch back to how it was before I entered the room.
So, easy enough to get out the window. I need you to make a dexterity check to see if you can get the window to relatch in the same position you left it was when you left, or when you got there.
I got a 16.
Yeah, it seems to be relatively easy enough. You were able to your hands were small enough to sort of get a finger in there with your blowgun and manage to lower it back down onto the right position. Seems okay. I need you to make now a dexterity check as you descend. Well, depending on what you're wanting to do.
Great. Ismark is down below, right?
He is.
Fantastic. I would like to try and unhook the rope from the chimney if I can, which I don't know if I'll be able to.
Yeah, you should be able to. It's on the same level you're at. I mean, it's just a slip knot.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'd like to do that. Wrap it back up, chuck it around my shoulder, and jump off down to Ismark.
Okay, so Ismark's going to make a dex check. Oh, that wasn't good. What is Ismark's fucking dexterity? Oh, he's only a +1. He rolled a 2. So as you throw yourself off the building at Ismark, he will break your fall, but only just. So you will take some bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground with a bit of a. So you'll take another point of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground. So he reaches out and he grabs you and just hits you with his hand and sort of slows you down a little bit. I seem to make a couple of rolls. Don't notice any guards around at this point. You did notice one citizen as you hit the dirt and sort of sat up, clutching your body as it hurts a little bit, looking over in your direction with a sort of bemused look on their face. Ismark just sort of sees, you can see him sort of going, it's okay, it's fine. And they sort of shrug their shoulders and head back into their house.
Yeah, I just tripped and fell from a tree.
Are you alright? Are you okay?
Yep.
Why did you jump off the roof?
Well,
Rob,
it's quicker that way.
Rob, safer.
Yeah, but I didn't want to get caught, and it's quicker.
And you see, just sort of rolls his eyes, shakes his head, and says, "Are you alright on your own? I'm going to bed. I should not be part of this."
Could you maybe just carry me to my bed?
He looks at you and just shakes his head and turns and walks away.
No, my back. Oh, he's gone. Fuck it.
And with that, Adok, do you return to the inn to your bed, or do you go back to the church?
Yeah, I do.
So you go,
actually, yeah, I'm not gonna be left alone. I'll go back to the church.
you're gonna just follow behind and go back to the church? Okay. Yeah. So with that, Adok, you return to the church, and eventually you do turn in. Ismark he doesn't really speak to you at all, and even when you get back to church, he just he gives you a look like, damn, you can tell he really didn't want to be involved in this, and he probably shouldn't have been, and he's definitely now thinking better of it, and returns to his room.
Before he goes, I'm just gonna reach out and put like 5 gold in his hand, be like, "Hey, you did something good. Get paid for it. Job well done."
And he refuses to take it. This is no thank you. It's fine.
Fantastic. I'm gonna hire you again.
So with that, we will then switch over to the main group now as morning breaks, as you guys start to wake in Castle Ravenloft itself. As I said, the rain is still falling, but not heavy. You can hear it throughout the castle. This castle's old and it echoes through the castle. But you're all starting to come to consciousness. And what would be day 14 of your stay in Barovia?
Emily's going to wake up. She's going to see that everyone else is sort of starting to stir. She's going to run to the door, open the door, go down into the hallway and close the door. She'll set off the alarm and wake everyone else.
So Emilia does just that, and the alarm sounds, and you are all alerted to someone setting off the alarm. And the door is closed, and Emilia is nowhere to be seen.
When you do come outside, you'll find her in an absolute fit of giggles.
I wake up and shoot the door.
No need to roll to hit because it's a stationary object. You're bound to hit it. Roll damage though. I mean, these are pretty sturdy doors, but
14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. And that was with Charlotte, I believe.
Yep.
So the rest of you in the room have now been also, not only the alarm waking you with a bit of a start, the reporting of a black powder rifle in the small room echoing in your ears as Fibble fires instinctively at the door, sending a what sort of damage is it? Just a shot or?
Yeah, no, it's just the magical shot, so it'll be a purple like
So
shot.
Emilia, you see coming through the door. You'll need to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please, as this shot comes through the door into the hallway in your general direction.
Oh god. That one too.
So many nat ones tonight.
So with a nat 1, you will take 14 points of whatever damage that is from the rifle.
Piercing.
14 points of piercing damage.
Upon hearing that, Carlos is just bowled up right out of his
Yep.
bed thing. Shield and axe in hand, but like he's wearing no armor or anything. It's just like a grey, cruddy singlet and loincloth. It's like, what the fucking hell? Jesus. What? Yeah. What's going on?
What do they hear on the other side of the door as Emilia is struck with this shot?
Giggles turning to what the fuck was that?
So you do almost immediately hear the sound of uncontrollable laughter, and then and what the fuck? Fibble, you're probably the first to hear it as you were one shooting through the door. The rest of you are woken with a start as this occurs.
Looking around going,
Is the alarm continuous, or does it go off after
It just goes off and then stops by itself. It actually doesn't say, but
I would imagine.
Wake up.
Yeah, I would imagine it would have sound until you become aware of it, and then it would stop because it's not an audible alarm, is it? It's more of a telepathic
No.
alarm.
An audible alarm that produces sound from the handbell for 10 seconds within 60 feet.
So it would have been. So you would have heard the alarm bell dinging for like 10 seconds before it eventually stopped.
All I can hear there's this ooh noise in my ears. What is that?
People, who are I missing? Emilia?
Bitches on eat again.
Emilia?
Yeah, she's gone to the toilet or something. I don't know. I got her. Don't do it again.
You got her. Oh god.
Well, I heard her laughing and then crying out in pain. So I dare say she may have learnt from the lesson. Then I go up to the door and I cast mending on the door.
Which seals the small bullet hole in the door.
Yep.
Do you open the door?
Yeah. After that, unlock it and open it.
And you open it, and they're lying on the floor, like rolling around in pain and laughing, kind of all at the same time as Emilia.
If I see her, I'm gonna walk over and healing hands for 5.
No worries.
Carlos just putting his armor on. Scathus, my pay to get dressed, mate. We've been shot at today.
Why is that not working?
The alarm went off and I pulled the trigger. It's survival of the fittest. We're sleeping in Strahd's place, for Christ's sake.
Oh no, that's fair. I totally understand. Just make sure you know your target, I guess.
The
Is that
door.
not a rule? Yep,
The door.
Oh, you are. I mean, we have had trouble with doors before, right, Scafus?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm going back to sleep.
I think
Get
it's
up.
get up time.
Yeah, get up.
Oh,
Fucking
do I
move.
have to? Alright.
Come on.
Buckling my armor up. Zadriel, you're all good for all the questions for breakfast, right? You wrote them all down. We went over them last night.
I think so. I wrote down most of what we said, but we will see. Do we find Rahaden or? I guess he probably heard we were up.
Yeah, someone might have heard the big bang, Mr. Stib.
At this point, you do hear footsteps running down the corridor as Rahaden himself, weapon drawn, is carrying a rapier and comes running down the hallway to see Emilia. And I mean, right at the time, Emilia, Zadriel, you were healing her, and he comes on now. What is going on? What is happening?
We had a false alarm, little accident, but it's all good, I think, now. We were wondering about...
Are you sure?
I think so.
And you see he's rather suspicious, like he's obviously there to defend his master, like he's part of this castle. He reluctantly puts his weapon away, resets his demeanor back to the sort of calm demeanor you'd seen the night before, and says to you, well, okay, breakfast will be prepared for you in the dining hall in about half an hour, if you so wish.
Thank you. Is Vasily still coming to breakfast too?
I will go check on him. He has been working through the night. Maybe he will join you, or maybe he might want to get some rest before he heads back to Valaki today. But I will check on him and ask.
Alright. And they go and tell the team. Well, they probably heard from there.
Emily is going to seem more concerned about the hole in her dress than she is going to be about getting hurt.
And just as a fair point too, as Zadriel, the one thing you would notice is your heal would have had no effect on Emilia.
Ah.
So is she still bleeding then?
She
or?
is still bleeding, yes.
Emilia, remember long ago we had a talk about me healing you? Are you going to be alright on your own? Because I don't think I did anything.
I'll be fine. She says, obviously not fine at all.
People, do you have potions or something?
Start rummaging through my bag, and I pull out my alchemist supplies. I start mixing some stuff together. I pack it into a wound, and I light it on fire.
Okay, I would assume it would have a little bit of gunpowder in there.
Just something to to
To cauterize the wound, yeah.
just cauterize the wound, not burn and keep on burning. Just
Yeah, so I'd say a little bit of gunpowder to give it a little bit of flash powder, which would give it a real quick sear and cauterize the wound. So that will work. I'll allow it. I think it's a bloody good idea. It hurts. You don't take any more damage from it. It definitely hurts, but it will stop any further damage. And I would say it's not going to heal you, obviously, but it will stop you from bleeding out any further.
Sorry.
I do have a kit with a needle and a thread. We could just have sewed it up, Mr. Stood, but that is mighty quick what you did there. That's very fancy.
Yeah, so essentially what you saw was he packed it all in, lit it, and it just went psst, and it's just a flash of gunpowder, that bit of smoke, and yeah, it just instantly cauterizes the wound. Emilia probably squealed in pain, just for reference.
Right, so we're going to join the dark and frowny Strahd for breakfast.
Only if you're polite.
Yeah.
I will be polite.
That's good. Which is weird that Emilia obviously cares about that and doesn't care about the fact somebody just shot her.
Probably is a little
Put
weird,
it
but
on herself.
Carnos has a needle and thread. Maybe you could fix the hole in your dress.
Cast mending on her dress.
Oh, there's that.
and the hole in your dress is repaired.
And she goes back to giggling. Thank you, Quibble. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Used to do this for Zadriel's mum all the time.
Blow things up.
Did you shoot her?
Hmm.
No, but I did seal a lot of her wounds.
Wait, what?
This is a story for another time, I guess, because I am very curious about what Zadriel's mum is doing with wounds in her, and B, why you were healing her up. But
Well, that's what we do.
maybe we should check out breakfast first, right?
Yeah, I
Sky-
could eat food stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Scafus, how say you?
Well, seeing you awake, may as well.
Right, Emily, pick yourself up off the floor, eh? That's not a good look.
Okay. Emilia sort of picks herself up, grabs her stuff from the thing, doesn't adorn her armor again. And then follows the group. Which I'm assuming that the other dude's there to guide us.
He is waiting. He's sort of waited down the hallway. But eventually, as you guys sort yourselves and prepare to head down for breakfast, he waits for you and leads you in the leads you back down the series of stairways and hallways back into the dining hall where you'd first met Strahd. On the dining table is a spread of fresh fruits. Looks like hot coffee. There's bread, hot bread, fresh breads. It's an amazing spread. A lot more than what you would have gotten anywhere else in Barovia. The table is set for 5. There is no set for anyone else apart from you. Rohadin walks in and says, "Please sit, eat, have your fill, and the carriage will take you back to the crossroads when you are ready. If you will excuse me, I have other duties to attend."
Thank you.
Where is your master?
My master regretfully has been called away on urgent business. He will not be able to join you for breakfast, but he said he will see you soon.
All right, tell him we'd like to speak with him again sometime.
Of course. I have no doubt he would like to speak with you also.
Is there any way that I could speak with Vasily?
It appears Vasily is asleep. The night's work has exhausted him. If you wish to see him before you leave, I could take you to his room, but I'm not sure he would be awake to take your audience. I'm sure you'll see him back in Valaki this afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
And with that, he gives you a short bow and turns and leaves the dining hall, leaving you to your breakfast.
Well, that didn't quite go as planned.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much expected, probably. And do we want to wake Vasily, or do we want to just go?
Well, we know one thing. He doesn't like daylight still.
Yeah, but this place is always dark, right? Does that still affect him, or what?
Well, good point.
I could be wrong. Maybe there's a sun above those clouds.
But there's got to be a sun above those clouds, or we wouldn't have, like, light.
Yeah.
Not
That-
bright light, but it's still light.
Can you say bright light one more time?
Bright light.
Oh, it's just not quite the way you were higher pitched in the bright last time. It was just reminding me of something.
I would like to think about Mirabelle's beautiful green boots that she used to wear and cast locate object within 1,000 feet.
You concentrate. You get no sense within 1,000 feet of Mirabelle's green boots.
And then I just keep silent then. And wait till everyone's done.
Are you eating, Zedriel? Just out of curiosity.
Is anyone eating? Let's get established that.
Carlos
Yeah, right, I'm
does.
digging in.
Fibblesip is digging in, and the food is great. It's fresh. It's tasty.
Scathus does the same.
The coffee is hot and well made.
Carlos only eats rations from his pet.
Okay.
If the food is the same, if the food's the same as last night, then Emily will eat. She'll try it at least.
What you'll find, Emilia, is at your place, there is no food on the plate, but there is a goblet, not a glass, but a steel goblet with the same red liquid that was there the previous evening.
Yay! Thank you. Emily will go for gold.
Scathus digs in as well. Again, Scathus, the food is amazing. It's the bread is fresh. It's still warm. The fruits are fresh and taste amazing. The coffee is hot and strong. Does Adriel eat?
No, Zadriel does not eat.
Okay.
Does she notice that Emily is drinking wine in the morning?
You notice she's drinking from a goblet. You don't know what it is. I mean, you can only assume, but she's drinking from a goblet, and she probably would be eating small portions as well, but I mean, the food doesn't sustain her. She knows that, but she does still eat for appearance's sake at this point.
Alright.
Is the food good, Mr. Stibb?
But
Does it taste good? Does it taste like real food?
yeah, it's like real food.
Okay. Scathus, do you like what you're eating?
Yeah, it seems alright.
Well, on the previous night, Mr. Strahd sat and ate with us and assured us it was fine. This morning he has assured you of nothing and he does not eat with us. Does that not bother you just a little wee tad?
Strahd did not eat with you the previous evening either.
That's true, he did not.
He did not
What's a-
partake in any food.
But Carlos didn't pick it up. Sorry, Cedric.
Yeah.
Did Karnos pick up that I purified the food and drink at the table? Because Strahd said something out loud to me, so.
That's the point.
The spell was cast and it did work. Not that it did anything because there was nothing wrong with the food, but
I
whether
don't know
Karnos noticed that or not, I don't know. I would say probably not.
I think he was too busy.
I think everyone would have noticed that you were told off for casting a spell, but that would have been about it.
Well, just in case, I cast List of Restoration on myself.
Noted. Now, anyone who has eaten, I need you to make... No, I'm kidding.
In half an hour's time, he's going to say that again now.
But you...
Don't make difference. I'm cured of poisons.
Yep. Do you stop eating after curing lesser restoration?
No. Eat some full and then goes to restoration and
Okay, fair enough.
that's it.
You still become a vampire.
A little 3-foot vampire. Could you imagine?
Hope you
Emilia, do you drink the entire contents of your goblet this morning?
She'll drink a good proportion and then fill up her thing. like
Okay.
she did the previous
I need you to make a wisdom save for me, please.
Okay. 23.
23. Again, same as the night before, you feel absolutely invigorated with what you've been given to drink. Although this morning's tastes different. And you find yourself looking around at your friends, Karnos specifically. The veins in his neck stand out to you. You can see the blood. You can literally see the blood pumping. You can see his heartbeat pumping through the carotid artery in his throat. You can hear his heartbeat from across the table, as if you were listening to a stethoscope. And the rush of bestial energy that runs through your body is almost unbearable. But you're able to resist at this point. But it was hard. It was very hard to resist the urge to leap across the table and tear his throat out.
Yeah. Okay. So just a normal day with them then.
Pretty much. But the thing is with it, it did not feel wrong. That's the thing. The one thing that would probably stick in Emilia's mind is the thought of tearing his throat out and killing him on the spot felt right. It felt good. It didn't feel wrong. It didn't feel horrible or anything at all. It felt so right. But you were able to resist at this point. So, breakfast is eaten for those that have eaten breakfast. Eventually, after maybe an hour of sitting around breakfast, and is there anything you guys wish to discuss at breakfast before you are escorted from the castle?
Just like to mention that we do have a ad hoc to catch up with, and I hope that he hasn't got himself into any kind of trouble.
Knowing Adok, he would have.
Yeah, this is a dog we are talking about.
I feel like we've been talking about the trust game, and we should just trust that little fella.
He has his bear. He's good.
Yeah, I have mine as well, and I hold up my 2 flasks.
Not be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, mine's whatever. I mean, it's wine at the moment, but you know, same.
Speaking of wine, just as a point of reference, Karnos, in front of you is 2 glasses of wine.
Yeah, Karnos still stays. He will not touch anything that Strahd has offered. And he's got 2 bottles in his back anyway.
I just had to point it out. I mean, it was,
you guys probably have noticed.
It was pointing out more for the fact that Strahd obviously has an understanding. Yeah. He's understood what's sort of going on and has taken notice.
And anyone who has taken notice would notice that Karnos hasn't been taking sips from his bottles, even though he noted they were there.
Yep.
He hasn't taken any drinks this morning.
Is Raha then still in the room?
He's not in the room, but at the moment. But he said he would return and lead you out to the carriage when it was time.
Emilia, do you still have to go back to your room to get your armor?
No, Emilia's got her stuff with her. It's in her bag that she's carried. It's in the room.
Alright. Zadria just...
Rahadin would have made sure you had all your stuff,
Yeah.
so you didn't have to take your way back up.
Zadria just sits and waits, looking at her hammer, till Rahadin comes back.
Eventually, he does return and asks politely, have you all completed your breakfast? Are you ready? Follow me, please. And he leads you back out through the main dining hall, back through the main entrance, out to the main courtyard, where again the rain is falling. It's still overcast and dreary, but the thunderstorm has passed. The carriage awaits. Rahadin doesn't go out into the rain. He stands in the entranceway and just waves you all forward, bids you all farewell. And the carriage door, as you approach, opens, and you all embark the carriage once again. And the moment you set in, the door closes and you're set off on your journey. You hear the horse's hooves and the carriage wheels on that cobblestone bridge as you cross over it once again. The loud grinding of metal and stone as the portcullis raises, carriage slows, then moves through. You hear the portcullis close behind you. Now the horse's hooves and carriage wheels on the soft, damp earth of Barovia. Eventually, after a time, the carriage comes to a stop, probably about an hour or so, and it brings you right out to the Old Slavich Road. Not at the crossroads, it actually delivers you right to the Old Slavich Road, which puts you maybe about an hour and a half from Valaki.
Did we pass the windmill?
You'd be able to walk to the windmill from where you're being dropped off. It's not that far. It's probably maybe 20 minutes to the windmill.
Assuming it's still burned down, that's what I was curious for.
Well, it's up. You can go check if you wish. The carriage stops.
Sure.
The door opens. You disembark, I'm assuming.
We sure do.
As you disembark, the door closes behind you. The horses and carriage turn and head back towards Castle Rainloft. No driver. That's one thing that you did notice from the night before and today. There is no driver. And you are now left standing in the drizzly Barovian day, about 20-25 minutes from the windmill which you'd previously burnt down the previous day, and about an hour and a half from Valaki. The day is yours.
Well, Carnos, what do you want to say?
Oh no, I say too much. Go ahead.
We did say we would look at the windmill when we came back, so do you all want to do that?
Yes, and just got to bring this up now that, Strahd's no longer within earshot. Vasily seemed very quiet.
He wasn't there at breakfast. And he didn't sleep on the same floor.
What are you thinking? What do you think that he alludes to?
Didn't he... Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. It's just normally he's very, outspoken, and it's hard to shut him the fuck up. But around Strahd, he was really quiet. Now, I don't know if it's because he's terrified of Strahd, which I don't know why he would be, since he's an employee at the present moment, so yeah, doesn't, the character wasn't there, so wasn't really him.
I also want to visit and find out why he paid the casket maker to hide the bones of the church.
Oh, and there was that too.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
But they're only little bones. It's not a big deal. It's a little deal.
Ah, feeble.
I'm not really sure the bones do anything anyway, but
Well, they seem to.
we're walking and talking, right?
Are you?
Of course we're walking. We're always walking and talking.
I think that's become. I think it's
Never
become.
just
I think it's
stand
become a
there
thing now.
talking
You
to the
guys,
middle of the
whenever
street.
you're talking, you're always walking and talking.
Just making sure the DM knows. That's all. You know, we don't be standing there at the
The only
crossroads.
time we're not walking and talking is when we say we're standing around in a circle. Say it. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed wrong. And Vasily did it. Now, we already know that Vasily has a connection to Strahd, so Strahd wanted those bones gone. So I think they are doing something? So, maybe because I took this rubbing, I pull out the sheet of paper that was the rubbing of the bone. If we start putting these symbols up around Vasily, like the town, maybe consecrate the whole town so Strahd stay the hell away from the town, not just the church.
Sorry, Zadriel.
I think this is more than just runes. It is like a faith thing, like, you know.
And maybe possibly even magic. I was going to say much the same as you.
Roll religion, Zadriel. Please.
Can I do that too?
Are you proficient?
Yes.
If you are proficient, you can roll it as well.
And I did check them out magically, and I didn't see any magic.
17.
16.
So you both would understand that, yeah, the bones are a holy relic. That's pretty much what you were told, and the runes themselves, by themselves, possibly would not have the same effect, if any, in the same manner. Coupled with the bones as a holy relic with that faith attached to them, that's probably why they are able to do whatever they think that they do.
Maybe we could spread the bones around the border of the town. No? Okay.
Maybe we could ask the pastor, church, priest person. So maybe Vasily is just charmed by Strahd's wilds like Emilia, and, you know, he is in love.
Yeah, okay.
Just let her share a threesome.
Calm down, Emilia, calm down.
Yeah.
Are we right in thinking, Miss Emilia, that you are totally infatuated with Mr. Strahd?
I don't know what you mean by that.
You would like to take your clothes off and do the rubber-dub-dub with him?
Yes.
What's a bath got to do with what she wants to do?
Nursery rhymes will never be the same for me now. Thank you.
Is there another way you explain this, Mr. Stibb?
Do the hanky-panky.
Right.
You want to... Never
You want to
mind.
have half wolf babies with that man, is that what we're saying?
You want to wild shape in the night with Strahd.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Do
Could
the
say-
horizontal tango.
Instead of firing Charlotte, you could be reloading Charlotte.
Poke the chimney. Stroke the fire.
Okay, people, calm down.
I'm curious, Miss Emilia, are you not, how do I put this? Are you not a little unsure of his character?
Yeah, seems nice enough to me. In fact, pretty much every guy that I've met in Barovia has been quite nice.
That is fair. One day your heart will be broken and you will figure out that not every guy is nice. But until then, it is nice to see that you have a good outlook on everybody.
Deathly soft.
To be young again.
Did you rub-a-dub-dub with someone, people?
I've been around a while. How far away are we from this stupid thing that keeps on coming back?
It's only come back once.
So while you're walking and talking, and I'm muted. While you're walking and talking, you eventually make your way back to the small road that leads up to the windmill. From the road, you can see that it is still not standing. You can't see the top of it like you did the previous day. You walk up the hill a little bit, and you see the small wisp of smoke, and you see the remains of the windmill.
See, I think Carlos was right. God, I said that out loud.
I don't want to take any credit at all. It was just, I feel like things in this place happen for a reason. We came across that bit of paper, we did not know what to do with it, and then now, I don't know, it just seemed like it worked. It was a good wild stab in the dark, I guess. Maybe. Or give it another day and check it again, maybe. Maybe we send some of those ravens. My stabs in the dark seem to work out well, don't they? I mean, I threw the axe at that raven, and now we know that they're were-ravens, right?
Well, yeah, you have good intuition accidentally, I think. That's very good.
Accidental intuition, yeah. He has great
Yes.
with that.
Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
Yeah. You are exactly right, Mr. Stibb. You are a genius. Maybe more of a mad scientist more than a genius, but still a genius.
A little bit more on the mad side as well.
Well, so are we back to Valaki to check out our mate Adok, and then what's our plans from here? Are we going to check out Lady Vactor's kids and see if we can't maybe, because they're drunkies, right? Worse than me.
I don't know the level, but yes, I think we were going to maybe possibly entertain them and then go and see Lady Vactor's home.
Yeah, get them hammered, get them absolutely slaughtered, and they fall over, and then we go and see her home when they're not around, right?
But we still have this spy, I forgot his name, that followed us around, so we have to be careful.
Maybe we just kill him.
Maybe we can get Adok to be sneaky for us.
Or maybe we chain that spy down after we catch him and let Emilia have her way with him.
Ah, 2 birds, 1 stone. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's called lesbianism, right?
No, why?
Because you 2 birds?
No, that's called avianism. Never mind. Let's go.
Oh, right.
We are walking home, by the way.
So after inspecting the windmill, finding it still destroyed, you start to head back towards Valaki. The next hour of travel was spent talking and walking and discussing the previous night's events. Nothing much happens on the road. You do hear again the wolves. The rain starts to slow as well and eventually stops. But the wolves can be heard every now and again out in the woods, as the previous every time you've come through these woods, you feel like you're being stalked, and that feeling's back again. Wasn't there quite so much the day before, as you were promised you would get to the castle safely and be returned safely as well, but this time the trip back, it's that feeling of being watched is ever present. The wolves seem to be stalking you once again. Every now and again you think you see a flash of fur in the trees, either on one side or other of the road. Nothing really much happens. It appears that Strahd has kept his word and that you would return back to Valaki safely. As you see the gates of Valaki nearing in the distance, approaching, the wolves' heads on pikes out front still there. A lot of them starting to decay and decompose, flies buzzing around. The smell is quite strong as you get close, but doesn't seem to faze any of you too much. At the gate, you bang on the gate as the guards sort of peer through, noticing who you are. Takes them 5 or so minutes, but they unlock the gate and allow you entry back into this township of Valaki. They close and lock the gates behind you, and you are now relatively safe within the walls of Valaki. You spend the next 20, 30, 40 minutes wandering through the city, the town streets, heading back towards the Blue Water Inn to catch up with Adok, your friend who had stayed behind. You notice that the Wicker Sun is complete as you move through the town square. New posters have been posted as promised around the town, inviting the townsfolk to a celebration of the Morning Lord and the Sun in a few days' time. People are standing around some of these posters and actually talking, and you get that sense that the era of Valaki has changed a little bit. Less solemn, less afraid, if you will. You can hear the chatter of townsfolk as you walk through. Some talk about, has the Baron lost his mind? What's brought about this change? This is out of character. Comments like that as you pass through. But it definitely seems a lot lighter than it has done in the previous days. Eventually you find your way back to the Blue Water Inn. Do you go into the inn itself or to your rooms at this point? By this point you're looking about almost midday.
I am looking for Adok.
So if you go into the inn down to the main inn, you'll find Erwin Martikov behind the counter. He gives you a nod of acknowledgement. You do see ravens on the roof as you approach. If you ask Erwin if Adok is there, he would inform you that he's upstairs in the room. If not, you go straight up to your bedroom. You'd find him in the room waiting for you guys.
Karnos goes like this to the ravens every time he sees them now. Every time he's like,
okay. And they squawk loudly.
Yeah, it's starting to make a little bit more sense why there's so many ravens on top of this building now.
So, before we do the interaction with Adok, just previously, Adok, I'm going to switch to you just for a moment. The previous evening, you spent the evening infusing your armor. Did you spend any time reading the book that you had acquired from the room as well? Your microphone busted again, dude. I'm not the only one having audio issues. It's great. Nope. He broke it.
Turn the mute off.
Nah, it's his microphone, I think.
Plug it in and turn it on.
turn it on, turn it off again. So, if you read the book, nod your head.
What about now?
There we go. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh my god, I don't know what's going on today.
That's alright, we'll get it sorted.
Technological
difficulties.
If I had time...
yeah, you would have. I mean, how long does it take to infuse the armor?
I mean, I'd left that up to you, but basically I have to sketch sigils and different runic symbols into the armor itself to enchant it.
So I'd say maybe say an hour to enchant it.
Okay.
An hour or two. And then you would have spent some time reading the book, which would have given you your level in Bard, which I believe you took as when you leveled up.
Definitely did.
In that book you found a collection of poems, jokes, two or three songs. Interesting read. But also in the rear of the book is instructions on how to craft and play a flute. Basic flute instructions, but the crafting of the flute was one that stood out to you. And you pick up your blowgun and you look at your blowgun and go, And you spend the evening enchanting your armor, reading the book, and crafting a flute. So I need you to roll a performance check for me, please.
A 7.
It took you a couple of hours. It's not great. It's functional. You know you're probably going to have to maybe look at doing this again at some point. It'll definitely work. But it will not. I mean, it'll sound okay, but depending on how things go moving forward, you might want to stick to jokes and poems as opposed to music.
Out of tune.
A little bit, like you play it, and it's every now and again it's slightly flat, like it's not quite on point. It plays the tune, and it sounds okay, but it's just a little weird. Or like maybe two of the lower notes just are a little off tune.
It's actually perfect. I love it.
So you might play the first 2 or 3 notes perfectly fine. The next note sort of goes, it's just a little bit off. Which is probably perfect for Ad-Hoc anyway. But it's functional. And that is pretty much you. And once you will get a level of exhaustion because you are unable to have a full rest for the evening. You do know that to remove the level of exhaustion would take a restoration spell or a night's full rest. So, guys, when you do find Ad-Hoc, he is red-eyed. He looks tired. You probably find him finishing off his flute, sitting on the floor, possibly cross-legged, reading this book and maybe even playing a few notes on this newly crafted instrument as you enter the room.
And as soon as he hits that first bad note,
the bum note, yep.
Okay. Walk up, touch it, cast mending, and fix all the holes, so it turns back into a blowgun.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, you go, do, and yeah, Fibble comes up and looks at it and goes, no, and just cast mending, and all the holes disappear.
What you do? I taught me for all night for fuck now.
Yeah, no.
No.
Try again.
I can.
No.
I'm trying to pick it up.
Try again.
But
no. Try again.
I'm just gonna grumble, pick up my blowgun barrel, walk over to the corner and start like chiseling and like trying to drill holes again in it.
We'll get you to make another performance check a little bit later on. I should make a dexterity check, but it'll be disadvantaged because you're exhausted.
And I'll be sitting there going, no, not there. No, not there.
We'll make it a straight roll with Fibblestib's aid then. So straight dex roll.
Okay, well, I got a 20.
Okay. This time with Fibblestib's aid, even though he has no idea about musical instruments probably, but he has an understanding of engineering and obviously hole positioning and the way that holes should be, he eventually aids you in crafting a very functional lute. You know, however, that final hole on purpose, you've made it slightly off, just to give that slight off note, just because it sounds right. It just sounds right to you.
It's more of a recorder, because if it was a flute, he couldn't use it as a blowgun anymore.
It's a magical blowgun, dude.
Just off topic here, is that your rain?
Yes, that is rain coming through the microphone.
Fuck, that's loud.
Yes, it is. I turned off the rain on my sound system because we have rain here. So it is raining in Barovia right now, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, we're going to take 5 minutes because I really need to pee. And we didn't take a break on Sunday session because we got really involved in shit. So we're going to take a break at the moment and hopefully this heavy rain will pass. Be right back.
No, sounds good.
We'll be right back, guys. Bear with us.
Is that a .83 pick there, Cam? Or .88?
I got no idea. I got it given to me. So
doesn't
it
have any
really
numbers
tell
on
me
it?
on the nah, it doesn't.
Looks
yeah.
pretty thin.
Yeah, it's pretty thin.
That's what she said.
I also got told it's pretty small as well.
That's definitely what she said.
What are we talking about?
Pix, what are you talking about?
Great.
I get that all the time.
What's
Yeah,
up, chat? We are back.
I say to them, we can't do much. Ride you down. Say what you want, doesn't hurt me. You're the one that strapped me.
Alright, chat, we are back. Good to see everyone here. Thank you so much for Shrub the DM for the raid again and the 25 biddies. Appreciate it very much. Support is greatly appreciated. And everyone else, Blue Jay, Magic, I think I saw Grim in there. And all the fabtabulous peoples are hanging out with us tonight, which is awesome to see. Whew, the innuendo in this chat. It's crazy.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Perfectly normal.
It is for this lot. And,
Yeah, so it's not actually innuendo when we were actually talking about it.
Outuendo. I mean, it's actually more like an outuendo. The out your end, exactly.
Put it out and in. As I always say.
Well, I don't know. It depends on the situation, really. Sometimes in's better than
So
out, man.
true.
Not yet, Blue Jay. Not yet. The night is young. Anywho, back to our story. As Adok has completed his second crafting of his magical flute with the aid of Fibblestep. The rest of you have joined Adok in your room at the Blue Water Inn. It is now back over to the players.
Right, guys. So like, you've never unbelieved what I've done, but whilst you're away, I found something, and it's
Why did you break
inside.
now?
What?
Why did you break now?
I didn't break nothing. Didn't break
Really?
nothing.
Really?
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you're looking at the newest and improved entertainer of the group. It's me. I can play flute.
And Gaithus is just standing there shaking his head.
By entertainer, do you mean person who takes off their clothes and does things with the other sex? Because if that's the case,
Emilia.
me too. I also elbow Emilia.
I mean, I've just started. Maybe that's actually in there somewhere. I'm gonna whip out the book and start going through it, trying to look for that.
You don't find anything alluding to such an activity in the book.
I believe you need red candles.
Have you read this as well? Is that like a second book? Has anyone seen this before? I'm gonna show up the book that I've got.
Which
Recognize it?
which, as he holds it up, none of you can read the cover of it. It's just weird scribblings, and I mean the only thing you notice is the picture of a lute on the front, but the writing itself you can't read.
I think I've seen one of those before on the side of a wagon, like a wheel.
What? No, it's a flute. It's not a wheel.
A flute. A flute. No, I never heard of it. Sorry.
Well, yeah, like this. This is a flute, and I'm gonna pick up the
Roll a
flute
performance
gun and go.
check. Roll a performance. With disadvantage because you are exhausted. You can't. Your microphone crapped out again. I think it was a 14. You said
14.
there you go. It's back. So a 14. That's not bad. Was that disadvantage?
Yeah, I got a 14 and a 16.
That's not bad. So 14. So it actually sounds pretty good, except for that one note right at the very end, second from the last note, and it's not as bad as what it was before, but it's just slightly out of key. But Fibble, you probably wouldn't notice. Actually, you probably would, but nowhere near as bad as before.
Maybe he can play better next time.
But he was pretty good with what he played. It sounded actually okay. It wasn't.
Can you
It
do
wasn't
whatever
harsh.
it was that you did before on that thing?
Oh yeah.
Please do.
No, I cover it now.
He's only learning. It could be that he doesn't have the finger skill to finger it properly.
No, I can finger these holes perfectly. Don't you worry. I've been like reading.
I have to strongly disagree.
I actually think it sounds quite lovely, Mr. Addock. That is one of the nicest sounding things I've heard in a long time in this dark and cold and dreary and seemingly music-free place. It is nice to hear a little bit of a whistle. Go for gold. And Carlos sort of claps along, but out of time because he's got no musical bone in his body.
See, I can't mend that.
Well, you
I
could
can't.
mend it.
With a bullet, maybe.
Wow.
And go.
Can,
See,
can
yeah,
you,
like, isn't it?
can you stick them together? No? Okay.
What?
We left and now you're an entertainer when we get back. What brought this decision?
Well, I just happened to come across the lovely this book by Rick Tavio. I came across it as well as some gold, a little bit of gold. I just found it somewhere, and I read it. At first, it didn't make sense, but then I kept reading a bit more, and oh, look what I did to my lovely armor. You see all these little sigils and stuff.
Oh, that's really cool, man. How'd you do that?
Chisel, hammer, a lot of time, just slowly, just over time, just tinking away, just bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it's actually it glows with a bit more. It should be a bit more glowy, as in magic sort of protection, artificer stuff. Fibbles knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That, can you do that to all of us?
No, just
No.
well, two things at the moment, and then later on, maybe. I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Well, not right now. I'm just curious if it's something that could benefit the group. It could work.
Well, speaking of benefiting the group, that's why I got this. That's why I decided to do the flute, because that's, it's like, it's morally boosting, and not only does it not play the flute, it also has lots. This book has things like haikus and lovely songs and jokes and stuff like that. And I feel like
jokes.
I've slept a lot.
I love jokes. Let's hear a joke.
What?
I love jokes. Let's hear a joke. What have we got? Read we run from the book.
Yeah. Now you want one now?
Yeah, I love. Everyone's up for a laugh, right?
Come on.
I thought Victavio was away for the week. He's back.
Hang on, Zedriel, we're just waiting for a joke. You can get your question in shortly.
But I want.
Come on.
Check your DMs, Ken.
Really,
Hang on.
really
Okay.
need to ask. You should have
All right. Well,
asked.
I'm just
Addock, check your
mainly
DMs.
practicing the flute, but let me just flip through the book. Here we go. I've got one. All right. So, if humans lose the ability to hear high-frequency volumes as they get older, can my 4-week-old son hear a dog whistle? Doctor: no, humans can never hear that high of a frequency, no matter what age they are. Me: trick question. Dogs can't whistle. Because the son's my dog. It's not. It's actually. Wait, what? I don't get it. Look, I'll work on it. It's it's something about.
I think
Yeah.
your delivery of that joke was wrong.
Mr. Stibb is right. It's all in how you produce the product. You didn't really sell yourself, did he? Stibb? Did he, Mr. Stibb? He wasn't selling there.
No,
Well,
well, look, for his first joke, I'm guessing it was Good.
Can you at least dance?
No, I can't do that. That's not part of the book.
That's entertaining, is it not? Dancing?
Look, I'm playing a flute. I'm saying some jokes. I'm trying to branch out a bit here, all right? So just let me one thing at a time.
You know, he does goblin chanting really well. Maybe he can incorporate that into.
That's different. It's sacred, and I'll never do that again in front of you lot.
I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, yeah.
But it's not a mockery, right? The goblin chanting is a sacred ritual between people of my kind, and that's.
No one would ever make such a vicious mockery of your chanting.
I
That's not what
appreciate
you
your
said just after he did it.
religious beliefs are very good.
Shh, Mr. Stibb. Shh.
Can I try the flute? I've already been fixed with a bullet. So
Don't let Emilia have the flute. I don't want to talk about it, but
What?
I mean, you're saying that you can fix him with a bullet. I've already been fixed with a bullet today, so it should be all good.
What do you want to do with this flute?
Well, I was going to go camping in a band camp, and
There's a band. Can I come to the band? Maybe I should come with you with my
I
flute.
don't-
And we should
no,
both go
no.
to the band.
no amount of mending is going to help if you hand that flute to her. Please, no.
Just do it. Just do it.
Well, how long is it going to take? How long do you need it for?
10 minutes will be fine. I just need to take it in my room alone for a minute.
I think what she's planning to do with the flute is not play it at all. So, keep it to yourself.
Oh, I'm so lost.
And the squeaky noises coming from it.
I'm beyond confused. First, you're talking about going to a band that you need a flute, and then it's in your room, and then you need. I'm sorry, I haven't slept a lot, but things aren't adding up in my brain.
Adok, you know your cannon dog? Yeah, you know what happens when a cannon dog that is a boy and a cannon dog that is a girl likes each other?
They have an internal combustion and they explode.
No, for fuck's sake, I lean over and I whisper into Adok's ear, explaining in graphic detail exactly what the flute is for.
So Zadriel explains graphically what Emilia was getting at.
I'm going to just quietly grip onto my flute to my chest and walk backwards towards the windowsill and just stare at Emilia and go, "Don't you take a fucking step towards me and my flute."
Emily is going to take a step forward.
I'm warning you, don't take another step or I will use this flute, and I'll point it at her.
I think that's what she wants.
Maybe we should leave the room and leave these two alone for just a moment or two.
Yeah. Not leave.
That's as well.
Does Zadriel?
Erwin, had a quest for us, so run, Adok, and I leave.
So Adok and Emilia are left in the room by themselves. Emilia is advancing on Adok.
Great. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be like, "Oh, stay back, you fiend!" I'm gonna reach out into I've got a bottle of holy water vial. I'm gonna pour it over the flute, and I'm gonna cast protection from evil and good on it.
Emily's going to say, "Yeah, you're no fun." She's going to turn later.
And Emilia turns and leaves the room.
And when she gets outside, she's going to say, "If you're going to say that was quick, I agree with you. I'm underwhelmed."
Oh, wow. Adok, what are you doing now? Do you follow them out? As they've all left the room now?
As soon as Emily has left, I'm just gonna get back to the corner and then just kind of whisper to the flute and be like, "It's okay, it's all right. She's not gonna hurt you. It's never gonna happen again." I'm gonna yell out and be like, "Is she gone? Can I come out now?"
Emily will yell out, "Yeah, I'm gone."
Please, someone can help me.
I think we have things to do, Adok. She is fine at the moment. I think she's lost interest in your little flute.
Great. Okay.
I'm not so sure.
I will help you. Come on down.
So with that, eventually you all make your way back down to the Blue Water Inn's main dining area. Erwin Martikov and is there on his own. You don't see Danica anywhere or the kids. Erwin is there, and sitting in the inn is there's a few other people lying around. Karnos, actually all of you would recognise, except for Adok, the other large, this time clothed individual that you'd met the day before. And he is sitting on the far side of the inn by the stairs. But there are a few other people sort of around eating. It's about lunchtime, so there's a few people sitting and dining. But you make your way down there. You're going to stop in for lunch, or are you going to speak to Erwin specifically?
I'll go up and speak to Erwin and ask if he has seen Lady Wachter's sons around today lately.
Good day. Lady Wachter's sons, you say?
Yes,
no.
Nikolai and Karl, no?
Not today. They were here a couple of nights ago. They got very drunk and very rowdy, as they always do. Had to kick them out again. But I'm sure they will be back. This is the only place you can drink in Valaki, so... They are an annoyance, but we put up with them.
You just let us know when they come in. If we don't spot them, just wave or something.
Of course. Please, when you get a chance, maybe later this evening, may I have a private word with all of you in regards to Divine?
Oh, I think we are free now if you want to talk to us.
Too many ears. Maybe after closing, I come and see you in your room.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
So I go to the rest of the team and say, Nikolai and Karl are not here. So we could either find them and lead them here, or we could wait, or we could just go.
Are we sure they're not already locked up?
Oh, I forgot to ask. You want to go ask?
No, he's busy at the moment. Why don't we just go see if they're locked up? And if they're not locked up, set them up so that they can get locked up.
Oh, so he wants to talk to us later.
About what?
Remember when Karnos tried to kill one of them? He talked about needing our help with something?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, you weren't there for that.
Karnos threw an axe at the ravens I've been talking to, and
He's not Raven.
it fell down and became a naked man.
I'm gonna
Where were the ravens?
tap.
Alexei was the big guy's name, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap Zadriel on the leg and say, we'd talk about this in private. I don't think they wanted everyone to know.
So you're telling me that we've got someone in our party that turned into...
Shh. We'll talk about this later.
And at this point, those that were probably facing the bar would see Erwin with a look of concern on his face about your current conversation.
I thought we were walking and talking.
You just said you went and turned and walked to the party. You didn't say anything about leaving the place. You're in the middle of the inn.
Do they want my flute too, like Emilia wants my flute?
No. I want your flute. Your
Not
flute's
everyone
that
wants your
good.
flute.
just thought I'd ask, because if they could turn into something else, then she can turn into something else. Hey, it's
It's a long story. We'll talk to you tonight. Later.
Yeah, come on, let's walk and talk. Maybe we ask some guards if those fellas have been chucked in the slammer.
Yeah, that's it. Slammer.
To the Carnos Inn. Let's go.
So you leave the
That's the
Blue
second
Water
half.
Inn
I've
and
been
head
here
out into the streets of Valaki. Eventually, you do happen upon a Valakian patrol. 2 guards, pikes and shields, just wandering, doing it looks like probably a set route that they travel, and they don't really nod or greet you as they come close. You can see that they look over at you, and one of them gives a slight nod in recognition. The other remains pretty well at his intended duties. Are you waving them down?
If they don't look too busy and they notice us, I kind of get their attention.
While that's happening, I'd like to do a perceptions check, see if our little spy is anywhere to be seen.
Of course. Roll perception. Anyone who's also possibly looking out for Ernest, your potential shadow, roll perception checks as well. But you do gain the attention of the 2 guard as they approach you.
I guess I'm focusing more on the guards than anything else.
What was your roll?
That 1 4.
And that one from Skathis, Zedriel.
11.
11.
15.
15. Anybody else rolling? Nope. So 15. Philsib, you would probably be the only one that would notice if indeed he was around, but it does not appear that you have your shadow at this point. The guards come to a halt, and one of them relaxes a little bit, not too much, and nods. Good day.
Good day. I was wondering, Nikolai, Carl, or Ernest, have you seen them, the Wachter's family?
Nikolai and Karl Wachter. Yes, we see them often at the jail, but not today. We have not had them in the cells for about a week, I think. Ernest, that snake, Ernest Glansk, I believe his name is. Lady Wachter's errand boy. He is always skulking around here somewhere. Does not get into trouble, but we know what he does. We cannot prove it, but we know. We keep an eye out, but we have not seen him today.
So besides the inn and the jail, there are no other little haunts they might be at, do you think, besides home?
No, the boys spend most of their time at home. Their mother does pretty much everything for them. If they're not at home, they're at the Blue Water Inn, getting drunk, causing trouble. They're not too bright, but bright enough to not cause trouble in town. Anything too serious. Drunkenness is not a serious crime. Get fined, get out is about it. But they are noble, so fines not so much.
What would get them locked up a little bit longer?
If they were to start a fight, maybe, or cause a problem in town, but they're not. I say they get drunk, they cause arguments. Normally, we just lock them up to get them out of the way. Just sleep it off. You know what I mean.
Thank you, and I curtsy, and I lead them away and say, "All right, Emilia, what if we hook you up with one of them? You lead them to the inn, get them drunk."
Why did I see this come?
Carnos is like, I had one of my amazingly great ideas and I just about walked off and did it, but I'm learning. Can I share my amazingly great idea with you?
Yes.
I have 4 bottles of mead in my pack and 2 bottles of wine which we have purchased from here. Your suggestion of Emilia getting them drunk works a little better than the idea of me just rolling up with bottles of booze to their house and saying, hey boys, come for a drink. Emilia, you could take some of these bottles I have, possibly 2 to 4, put them in your pack, maybe go to their house and ask them out. Take them where, it doesn't even have to be the inn because you already have the booze. You could take them away from their house, giving quarter maybe to get them in trouble. Once they're in trouble in the jail, you report to us. Maybe someone could aid and assist you. You report to us and then we can check out Lady Wachter's house. Of course, I would have just rolled up to the door and done this myself, but I'm learning.
That's good. There's 2 females here, and there's 2 of them. And
Yes.
I'm not sneaky. I'm not sneaky, so I'd probably be better.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Adok. Adok, are you? Oh, who's the other female?
Carnos.
What?
Well, you mean the one with the long white hair?
I'm
My-
the other female.
I am so sorry. I did not, I just used to you being in charge. I did not look at you like that.
And you look like me as if I was a woman.
Well, I can't tell with goblins. I'm sorry. I thought Adok was a girl name. This whole time, I wasn't sure.
You know what? You deserve this. I'm gonna pull down my pants.
There you go, Emilia. I was actually just joking, Adok. I was making, but never mind.
Go get it.
Oh, you have
Roll a d6 for me, Adok. Just quickly.
Oh, shit.
4.
Surprisingly, Adok is very well endowed. It's a lot bigger than you expected.
Skathis is
Almost deformed.
Skathis is looking at the size of Adok and the size of it. Adok, it. Scratches his head.
What's Emilia doing?
That's the tripod.
And the rain has started again too, guys. It's it's a drizzle, but it's just started to fall.
I'm just gonna stand there with my pants down and be like, does this look like I've got a female genitalia? I don't know what you...
Move on.
Do you feel that a leader has to be a man, Carnos?
No, he just didn't see you as a girl. He saw you as the leader.
Yeah,
Because
sorry.
I'm a leader.
No, Mr. Philstib is right. It's not that I didn't think you were a woman. It's that I just didn't think you were alluring enough to go and tempt the boys with Emilia. It didn't cross my mind that would be part of your wheelhouse. I'm sorry.
Maybe you need to drop your pants as well, Zadriel.
This armor takes too long to take off, Adok.
Surprisingly enough, I mean, obviously Carnos probably hasn't really noticed, but now that you have sort of been pointed to the direction that she is a woman, she is extremely attractive. The skin is clean and clear. She looks... You're not sure how old she is because it's very hard to determine her age with how she looks. She looks very young.
Carlos kind of knew she was a female, but he just didn't look at her like that because Emilia had already been the more attractive sort of way. He was thinking that she wouldn't be like alluring for the boys. That's his mindset.
Yeah, but
He
the
was just
thing is,
looking at it
now
as
that's been spoken about, you kind of look at it more in that light, and so
Yep.
try and look at it without armor and shield, and you can probably see that beyond the armor and shield that she probably would be, given the right circumstance, is what I'm getting at.
Okay, Carlos picks up one bottle.
Outside of the fact that she could crush your face and turn you into a smear on the side of the road, yes.
That's more. I see you more as this attacky, dominant warrior. I do apologise, and Carlos is like
blushing red.
I like Carnas's idea, kind of, like taking them somewhere to get them drunk. But I'm wondering if drinking in public is actually legal.
Oh yeah. That's when my
Because-
plans would have fallen over.
Well, no,
Didn't-
that could actually work to our advantage because they're drinking in public.
We just don't want us to be arrested, right?
No, we're not drinking. They are.
Oh yeah, you hand them the booze and talk them into are you ladies here?
And Carlos gets out his pack and he sort of looks around. He goes,
I have 4 bottles of mead. Do you want 2 mead and 2 wine?
Emily is not paying attention. She makes eye contact with Adolf and then imitates him playing the flute.
Has Alex still got his pants down?
Oh shit, I forgot to say I pull my pants back up. Yeah, I was like, pull my pants back up as Emily is staring at me.
he's going to jail.
Luckily, the guards didn't notice. You were so lucky.
There are books around with the rules we were told, right? Around town?
There
We can
is
get one.
a town charter available. Yes.
And we are
I think
walking.
we need
towards
to get the
grabbing one
town
of those.
charter to try to work out what would be the he's
Yeah.
not going to send everyone straight away to the stocks, so it's possible that some things that used to send to the stocks might turn into longer jail period.
We only need them out of the way so we can get into the house and basically destroy Lady Wachter.
And I'm whispering this as best I can.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we're not. We only need them out long enough to do what we need to do with her, right?
Wow, we would also we need her to be in a position where she goes to bail them out and is told no.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, she always bails them out, so we need them locked up for a good enough reason so that
So she will leave.
she will be by herself and there's no way around it.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea then. If we check out the town charter like Zadriel suggests, and yourself, Mr. Still, I guess we could look at what we can easily coerce them, or hopefully easily coerce them into doing.
As
Yeah,
we're
I-
walking towards the town
I got
charter.
I got the feeling that striking a guard might be a little bit more higher on the level of incarceration, or public indecency, and Adolf seems to be quite capable of doing that one.
So as you guys walk and talk, you do eventually come to the store, or the place where you were informed that you could buy a town charter. You enter, you pick up a town charter for 1 gold piece, which is not a book, it's just a scroll. Which at the top it is titled Valakian Town Charter, Rules and Regulations. Listed, it's a long list, probably about 20 or so infractions that are to be avoided, and a lot of it's real basic stuff. Obviously theft, depending on, again, there's petty theft, then there's major theft, there's obviously murder, there's assault, things like that. But a full list of different things. You can see a few at the bottom have been scratched out. They haven't had a chance to rewrite them, so you can see they've been blacked out. One of them you can make out looks speaking out against the Baron's festivals has been removed, and other bits and pieces such as that. So it's probably only about 12 or 13 that are actually relevant. But they're pretty general laws. Obviously, public indecency is on there, and that is normally punishable by a day in the stocks and 5 lashes with the whip. Then you've got public fighting, or fighting without proper reason. essentially assault is up there. That's normally a night or two in the cells, depending on the severity of the crime. Murder's up there. Murder is punishable by death. And assaulting an officer of Valaki or a guard of Valaki is also had been punishable by death until it looks like there's been an amendment made to it, and that is 30 days in Valakian jail and 50 lashes. So they've made some adjustments. Yeah, a lot of the petty stuff has been removed at no sort of punishment. But there's enough on there, information on there to give you that you have got a fair idea of what it would take to put the Wachter boys in jail for a reasonable length of time if you were careful about what you did and how you did it.
Emilia, do you have a spare dress I could borrow?
I actually only have the dress that I'm wearing. I don't need spare clothes when I can wash myself using my cantrip. And wash my clothes using my cantrip.
Lady Zadriel, I can pass you some gold if you would like to go shopping with Miss Emilia.
I thought you were going to say you had a spare dress.
That's what I thought he was going to say too.
Emilia and I are gonna go. And you guys, where do you want to meet? Back in front of the Wachters?
No, just back in the room.
Yeah. Go over the plan.
Go
Yeah.
back there.
Can I
Go
have-
over these charters.
It's early afternoon, so
I have a few additional ideas if you guys are interested when we get back to the room, that is.
Okay.
Excellent ideas. Good.
I'm gonna quickly go with Emilia to buy makeup, a red dress, and shoes.
Do you want gold?
I got gold, thank you.
so
Okie dokie.
you look around for a little bit. The rest of you head back towards the inn. Emilia and Zadriel head further into the town square to find either a tailor or a dress shop. You don't really find a specific dress shop. Or there is a tailor, but doesn't look like they deal with dresses specifically.
Evil's being invaded by fluffy tails.
But you do find your way back to the general goods store, where you are told by, when I find her name, it's in my pages here, by Ivana, that she can find you a dress if you give her a moment. Give me a moment. I have a few dresses here. Excuse, just one moment. And she disappears through a curtain, comes back a few moments later with a couple of different types of red dresses. They're not like super fancy, but they're nice. They look like they'll fit. One is more off the shoulder. The other is sort of short-shouldered, crew cut. Sort of, it's quite low cut through the top. About knee-length dresses. And she also has shoes that would match the dresses. And the shoes look like they would fit. I mean, they might be a little big, but they'll definitely do the job.
I get one for me, and if Emilia wants one, I pay for hers too. And the shoes. And
So the dresses, she tells you, the dresses, I mean, they are fairly old, but 25 gold pieces for both.
all right, thank you very much. And I hand her the
And I
gold.
throw in the shoes for free.
Oh, that's very nice. I'll give you extra 5 gold for them.
How
That'd
kind.
be nice.
How kind. Appreciate.
All right, and then we head back to the inn where I ask Ketas, all right, before I change, what is your ideas?
Well, by going by what the charter says, striking a guard is one of the top issues. So if we can get them drunk enough to cause a fight with, say, one of us, we could direct the fight towards a guard and get the drunk person to hit the guard, maybe.
Yes.
it sounds like something that you'd be good at, like type of deflecting the shot to hit the guard instead of you.
Or
I see.
you could just say to them, hey, that guard said your mum dresses you funny or something like that, or give them one of Adolf's jokes to, you know.
No,
Oh, jokes are good. What
the guard was getting pleasured by his mother.
Yeah, and then something to make him strike the guard willing without, if you deflect the shot, it could end up all awry and maybe you hit the guard and then we've got another.
We could ask the guard to be a little bit willing to incarcerate them.
I could turn
of-
myself into a guard.
If I am in service to the Baron, technically I am a god.
I don't know if it will quite work that way.
Maybe not.
I think we just need to get them to interact with the guards in a bad way.
I mean, like, I could
Oh.
turn myself into a guard. Just saying.
Yeah, but if they strike you and another guard sees it, that would work, but we'd have to ensure there's other guards seeing that strike you as a guard, right?
Yeah.
Could work. That's not a half-shame plan.
And I think it'd be better if it was a real guard.
Could
Like-
what guard are you going
Yeah.
to impersonate?
I don't know. I just this book says I could transform myself. I'm gonna point to like a page in the book.
Which they all
As
look
good-
at, it's just all gobbledygook to them.
As good of an idea as that is, but you guys will need to be probably sneaking into the house while we are destructing, not being with us, you know?
No,
Yeah, I
we
think
do that after
afterwards.
they're locked up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because we don't want to be split up too much. We do it all together when the mum leaves to go and bail her sons out.
Okay, but I am not so sneaky.
That's
Yeah,
why we need
have
her
to be
gone.
sneaky.
Alright, you ready, Emilia? We go get changed.
It's
Wait, what we
it's
doing?
early afternoon, so depending on what you want, exactly what you want to do, you might want to wait till the evening, maybe.
We are women, it's going to take us a while.
But this is true. This is true.
Also, here's my bottles. And as we're walking, sort of, I assume we're in the rooms.
Yep.
Carlos hands him 2 bottles of mead and 2 bottles of wine. He keeps 2 bottles of wine for himself.
Okay.
Do you think that's enough, or do you need more?
Could you get me a couple of bottles of water? As many as you can? That I can carry? Just do it.
To make it okay, yeah. Carlos goes to the bar and asks if he can purchase
Empty
some bottles
bottles.
of water. Or bottles for water. He'll just put water in there.
Erwin gives you a puzzled look and says, okay, one moment. He comes back with half a dozen empty bottles.
Cool, and I
with
go to
cork
the-
stoppers as well.
I go to the well and I top them up and then head back to Zadriel with them.
So you have half a dozen bottles of water.
Treat. Now you do. Zadriel, they're all yours.
Thank you. You know, while we are changing, maybe you could update Adok on the all the stuff that happened while we were away.
Oh, he wants you with Strahd.
Yeah, and the axe throwing and the windmill and the
Oh, right,
stuff.
yeah. All right, Mr. Stubb and Scafus, let's do this. Come with us, Adok, into the other room.
I was gonna watch.
Okay, you can watch. The rest of you come with us and we'll have this discussion, because Adok, you really need to know some of this.
Wait, I was also thinking that we could probably like set something on fire, and then this book also says that I could like make an image or something of a person maybe setting something on fire. Them.
Carlos sort of says, can I have a look at the book?
No,
I'm not going to hurt you, I just want to see what I can see.
I'll get
can you-
back.
100% will give it back.
Maybe we
promise?
could use that
I
to
promise I
distract
will not.
Ernest.
Alright, I hand over the book reluctantly.
Carlos doesn't take it anyway, he just opens up, fucks through the pages and just looks at I assume it's just total scribbles and
You don't
weirdness.
understand anything. There's symbols. He's writing there, you're just not sure what it is.
flipping through pages. I'm like, yeah, right. Where'd you say you got this book again?
Found it on the room in the ground.
And it's teaching you things.
Yeah. I'd probably also imagine my eyes look pretty bloodshot.
Oh yeah, they are. You've had no sleep. He looks really bleary-eyed and like a lot of times even gets to the point where his speech is incoherent. Like he thinks he's making a sentence, but what you hear is just nonsense.
I walk up to him and I touch him on the shoulder and go, "You'll be right now." Unless the restoration.
And you, in an instant, feel 100% better, and your exhaustion is gone.
I don't want to alarm you, Mr. Adolf, but this writing, is this in Goblin or something? Because I can't make out a damn thing in here.
What? Oh, no. Fib, what did you just do to me? I feel great, but no, it's magic. By the way, haven't I? I've said that, haven't I? I told you it was magic.
The book is magic.
Yeah, it's magical.
Okay, here you go. Can you show me something magical from this book? What can you do now that you couldn't do before?
All right. Well, I'll take a look around the room, and then I would like to try and cast my best wave. I'll pull out a bit of fleece. I'll throw it in the air, and I'll try and cast a naked version of Emilia using silent image.
Have you seen Emilia naked? That's the thing.
Nope.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
you've seen that she's. I mean, you give an impression of a naked Emilia. I mean, the face and hair of Emilia. The rest is just based on what you've seen of her, you throw up a silent image of Emilia.
It's got goblin green all through the middle.
And I'd like to make it start to walk slowly and seductively towards Karnos.
And it does so. It's initially, Karnos, it looks very real. Although as the closer it gets with your passive, you'd probably, by the time it gets close enough to you, I mean, you know it's not real. I mean, he's just cast it, but
yeah.
it does look very real from a distance.
Carlos backs up sort of quite quickly and goes, "Holy crap. That is pretty impressive. Mr. Stibb, have you ever seen anything like this before?"
Yeah. Not quite like this one, but yeah.
It's gonna make us start dancing or something.
Can you do that to anyone? Or you can make a picture of anyone. You can make and I wave my hands through it to see if it's real. Like I go to touch it.
Yeah, and it literally just passes through, and it goes wavy for a second. And your hand passes through, and then it reforms. Sort of. Does it dissipate when someone touches it, or does it just stay there until you release it? I can't remember the silent image. I'm pretty sure that it just remains.
It remains. But
It remains. Yeah.
It remains, but the illusion is spoiled.
Broken.
Yeah.
I'm not a lot of spellcasters who could do some things. I haven't quite seen the spell. Have you pulled a spirit from her, or is this just a likeness?
I'm gonna look down at the book and go. From what I can see from the book, it just says that it is a likeness. Definitely not part of her. Just from my imagination.
Oh, that's good. And Carlos does a reverse swing, pulls his axe out, and goes to chop his head off.
And the
That
axe passes
explains the
through the
grapes.
image. Yeah, passes through the image without any hassles.
Oh, but it feels so good.
And I'm gonna make her go to grip her neck and fall to the ground.
And it does so.
All right, I'm satisfied. Very good, Mr. Adolf. I'm impressed. You have definitely made my day. Fiery cannons that you can do, that is cool. Now you can make cool images that I can kill. Yep, paint me the colour of impressed.
Do you actually want me to paint you the colour of impressed?
Oh no, it's just a saying where I come from.
Right, okay. No worries. I'm gonna cast minor illusion on him, colour red.
Well, Carlos probably wouldn't see it, but Fiddleston and Skatus would.
Carlos is oblivious. He didn't even, because he's not looking at his hands, he's just put his gear back.
It's a nice red hue around Carlos at the moment.
I think that's more embarrassment, but okay.
I'm still learning, aren't I?
Keep on forgetting, you see in shades of grey.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's all guesses.
He sees in what shades of grey? Is there like, I think there's like 40 of them, right?
Yeah, 40, close to 50, maybe 60. I'm not quite sure.
Or just grey.
Doesn't have a dick, but have to rush somewhere.
You're not there. The two girls are in a different room getting dressed.
Yeah, we've got hours of conversation. You guys aren't
Yeah.
even getting your turn now.
That's it for the rest of the night for the girls. You're in there dressing. You're going to take freaking forever. But momentarily we'll switch over to the girls. Is there anything you ladies would like to
2 weeks
discuss
later.
while you are preparing yourselves for your rendezvous?
When you see Emilia naked, well, Emilia's basically to take off her dress. When you see her naked, you'll notice that the two wounds that she has on her neck stretch down her chest quite a way, and stretch down her back quite a way. It looks very deep, and it looks like it probably should have killed her. And that's all I'm going to say to that. If you ask about it, she's not going to say anything.
Of course, I ask about it. And when I get undressed, you will be fucking amazed.
Zadriel is extraordinary, is probably the only way to describe the way Zadriel looks unclothed.
She was
What happened?
She's well endowed as well as adult.
Probably. Just in a different area.
How, do you know how to flirt, Emilia?
Obviously not very well, because it's not doing well for me.
You do realize we are only going to try to get them drunk, so whatever we say and whatever they say, it doesn't matter, right? So don't, get attached.
Okay.
I mean, you're a free woman, so, disregard, I guess. And I'm going to fix up our hair, and we're just going to get ready. If I ask you about the scars, you aren't going to say anything? No? So?
She's going to use her water and do her hair again, and she's going to offer to do Zadriel's as well. And if Zadriel chooses to, that would knock about a couple of hours off the time.
Would do, yes.
So, basically, long, pretty hair, very sort of sparkly, very combed well, nice long and straight.
And I'd say it probably overall would take you a couple of hours anyway to organise yourselves by the time you'd talked and got dressed and everything else. Eventually the girls do return back to the main room, both in similar shade of red dresses but differing styles. One is more off the shoulder. Which one's wearing which dress? You got an off the shoulder and then you got one that's more on the shoulder.
Emily is probably more on.
Okay.
I'm off.
So Zadriel probably enters first, wearing an off-the-shoulder red dress. It's not too revealing, but it's lowish cut, about knee length. Red shoes. Her hair is done differently than it was before. Before, her hair would have been more manageable for combat. Now it is more a social hairdo, as is Emilia.
Okay, we are ready. heals are a little hard to do on the ground, so I might need to hold on to someone. But we'll knock on the door and invite them. And where are you guys going to be?
That's a good question. Mr. Stibb, where are we going to be?
Here, I guess.
We don't want to be nearby in case something goes wrong.
Well,
Somewhere out of the way that's not far out of the way.
Yeah, out of eyeshot, but sort of peeking around the corner, maybe sneaky-ish.
Also, we'll need eyes out for Ernest, the messenger. He'll probably be nearby.
Adok said you can change, didn't you?
I'm just gonna be staring at Zadriel.
Adok,
Huh? What?
you said you can change your appearance.
What? Yeah. What's going on?
Could you?
Zadriel, you look amazing. What happened? I mean, not what happened. I mean,
I
what?
bathed.
Sorry.
Thank you. No, I don't. That is very nice of you.
I'm gonna put it. Can anyone else? Am I looking at the same thing? Am I? Can you see what I'm seeing?
It's okay, Adok. We know who they are.
Are you attracted to humans, Adok? I thought that's a bit weird, isn't it? Don't you normally just go for your own races?
I don't know anymore. I'm confused.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, I could turn myself into a human if that's what you want.
Yeah, turn yourself into a human so we can lure out that spy dude. He won't expect you to be a human.
I could do that. Is that? Wait, yeah? What's our plan? I'm so lost. I was sorry, I was caught by your beautiful eyes.
Are you talking to me or Garnos now?
I don't know who I'm talking to anymore. I'm talking to both of you, everyone.
Garnos, did you feed him a cake again?
And Carnos is pointedly looking sort of, you know, how you do the look at the eyes, not at the boobs sort of thing.
Yeah.
Eyes, not boobs, and then floor. Eyes, not boobs, floor. Eyes, not, and he's going, yeah, and he's doing the same thing with Emilia. He's like, eyes, not, he's switching between the two of them real awkward. He's like, yeah, no, I didn't give him any cake, or pastry or anything like that. No, yeah, but he's right. What's the plan? So you guys are happy with the plan? Yeah. Explain.
Actually, we could use that cake, couldn't we? You think?
I thought it was pastries. You're talking about the child, the kitty cakes.
Meat cake. We could do that, couldn't we? We don't make you like a charmed or dazed or something. Or
It made me see weird, cool stuff. Yeah.
Skaters look at Figgles and go, are those two not alright? They look weird.
Leave my dice alone, cat.
We're going to start walking towards the house, I think, while we're talking.
So I guess our idea is we should sort of stay out of the way, but we sort of
Yes.
try and follow without being noticed. I have to say, I'm not very stealthy here. Maybe we sort of... Where are you guys going to lead these fellas? Maybe we should... I can sit in the area drinking on my own if I'm allowed to drink outside. No, I'm not. Oh, crap.
Just to be clear, DM, I pray to the DM. Oh, no, I'll pray to you. Talk to the DM. Is there no drinking in public?
Did not
Because-
say anything about no drinking in public. It just said public intoxication is against the law.
And nearby the house of Lady Wachter, is there like a nice tree picnicky area? Maybe we could lure them to drink, possibly?
Give me 1 second.
Which we would sort of have seen because we walked that area.
You
right?
would have, you definitely would have been in that area. I'm trying to think where Lady Wachter's house is now.
I would suggest a bit further away than from the house.
Yeah, middle distance, but someplace where you can spy on the spy and they can see you.
1 second. Just got to bring up my DM map.
How much pastry do you reckon you'd need? Because I'm not like if we were to have some, if one of us were to have some pastry.
I ate the whole thing and it gave me a crazy hallucination. So maybe just give one of them one.
Yeah, there is Lady Wachter's house towards the north, and looks like there's a few trees in and around the back inside of her property.
Is it far enough away that the mom won't kind of see us, though?
You won't really be able to determine until you get there, but there is trees a distance from the house, it looks like.
Okay. Once we get up to the house, I'm just going to look at them and say, we're going to do whatever we can and keep an eye out for the spy and keep him away from... Maybe incapacitate him if you can. Huh? And then we'll take care of these guys.
So before you move in, let's get everyone to make a perception roll to see what is happening in the immediate area. Carnos.
That is 13.
Scathus.
11, I think he's Scathers is starting to get what the guys are looking at now.
Zedriel.
17.
Haddock.
11.
Subelstead.
11. 19.
And Emilia.
Totally wasn't paying attention.
Perception, please.
Okay. Perception.
Pay attention, goddammit.
What time of
Oh, no,
day?
she rolled.
You'll be at negatives. It's still during the day.
17.
So collectively, it's pretty good. So a Valakian patrol does move through the area briefly before you make your way directly to the house itself. Does not appear that your shadow is anywhere in the vicinity. You haven't seen him. Watching the house for a short time before approaching, you do see a little bit of activity in one of the windows, but nothing in and around the house or its grounds. Off to your right, or to the east of the house, is a large grassed area with a few trees, maybe 150 feet or so from the house. The rain has stopped, but it's still very damp, and I mean, it's typical Valakian weather. It's still dark and dreary grey, but it's not cold, but it's not warm either. So the dresses that you've purchased, you will be feeling a little bit of the cooler weather that's here in Barovia. So they're not summer dresses, but they're a heavier material than that. But still, even just in dresses and shoes, you would probably feel the cold a little bit. You then start to make your approach to the house. What are the boys doing at this point? Whereabouts are you positioning yourselves?
Carlos would probably need to take some lead from Scathus or Fibbleston. He wouldn't know.
So just to give you guys a little bit of an idea of where you're at, I will bring up the map here for a second. So the little red house there is the Wachter house. So this is the area that I was talking about. So you guys at the moment are probably positioned around here. So you've got the road here. There's a bit of an alleyway into another series of houses here. These will all be fenced sections. So imagine that there'd be like pathways and alleyways through these fenced sections. But you guys are positioned about here at this point.
Okay.
Where would you like me, Scathus? What's the best positioning for a man of my talents?
Yeah, just so we're not noticeable, probably near one of the houses around the corner.
All right. And so Carlos sort of goes a couple of houses down, so he can still see what's going on, and just goes and sort of hangs out by the front of a house, sort of, I don't know, just inspecting like the gardens, the areas
Casually.
around it. Yeah, just casually like sniffing flowers.
Okay. Scathus, Adok, and Phil said, whereabouts are you positioning yourselves, and what are you doing?
Is there a barrel around anywhere? An empty barrel.
Right. Well, with your perception check, there's probably old water barrels, but they would be full of rainwater. Like you imagine the downpipe from a house has an old water barrel that they store rainwater in. They would have water in them. You can have a look for one, roll investigation for something more suitable.
Got a 10.
Doesn't appear to be any barrels. There's a few baskets and crates down one alleyway that you might be able to hide in. You're not sure what's in them without further investigation, but there are bits and pieces around.
All right, yeah. So looking at the map, I'll probably go down an alleyway to those crates and barrels, or crates and boxes, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Have a look.
So looking, you find a basket. Looks like it might have some old clothes in it. Looks like it might be someone's just discarded them down here. They're pretty smelly, but big enough to hide in if you really wish to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in there.
So you're gonna hide.
I'm gonna walk off. Yeah, and I'm just gonna tell Scathus where I'm going to be like, I'm just gonna hide down here in this alleyway with these clothes and stuff.
So once you do that in the basket, you will be unable to see the Wachter house from your position, however.
That's alright, that's fine.
But you do hide yourself. I'll need you to make a stealth roll as well for not just, I mean, you are hidden, but you need to, for noise and that you might make it while you're in there.
I was aware of which way Karnos went, yeah?
Yes, yep.
Great, fantastic.
So I'll need a stealth roll from you.
Got a 14. 14,
okay. So as far as you're aware, you're completely hidden. So, Scathus, what are you up to? You're muted, sir.
I'll be on the opposite side of Karnos, near a corner.
Just waiting, sort of casually standing.
Yeah.
Hood up, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
To try and hide as much as your face as you can, because you do stand out like dog's nuts.
Yes.
If you are wanting to remain hidden, I need a stealth roll from you as well. Fiddlestep, where are you positioned in all this?
What was that?
Where are you positioned in this particular situation?
Try to put myself in a position where I can just see the girls.
Yeah. So you're not going to hide. You're going to just be somewhere casually.
Well, try to hide, but not like be
hide in plain sight type deal.
Yeah. You know, just kind of finding a spot where I can sit down and like read a book, but still be able to see them.
Yep, that's easy enough. You'd probably put yourself, I'd say, within sort of 60, 80 feet of the house, enough to keep line of sight on the girls at all times, knowing that you could potentially grab and fire Charlotte if necessary at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I'm pretty much doing what Phil's doing, just not reading.
Karnos would be the same as well. You guys put yourselves in a position where you will be able to see them. Adok is the only one that is completely hidden himself and cannot see anything. But
is there any chopping blocks and like axes around I could just casually chop someone's wood?
Roll investigation.
Oh, that's not so bad. Investigation. 15, 16, 18, 19.
Yeah, I'd say that one of the houses that you're milling around, you sort of look around and in the front yard you do see a wood pile stacked up against the front of the house. and there is a chopping block with a axe stuck in the chopping block with a few small logs, rounds
Yeah, I'm
that
just
are ready
gonna-
to split.
I'm just going to start cutting some random person's wood. Just, I figure it'll help them out. And
You're
it
going to
helps me
use
keep my
your
position.
axe or their axe?
No, I'll use their axe. Yeah.
Just so I know. So Karnos starts chopping firewood. After about 5 or so minutes, you hear the door. What are you doing? That's my firewood.
Yeah, that's quite alright. I'm just chopping it for you, mate.
And you see a little old man. He got no teeth. He's hunched over. He got a walking stick. Looks like he couldn't lift the axe if he tried anyway. And he says, "Oh, that's really kind of you. Make sure you stack it afterwards too, eh?"
I can do that. It's actually do a good deed for an old person day, and I just thought this is the perfect time. And congratulations on being old, mister. And I'll just keep chopping your wood.
Well, thank you, Sonny. You do a good job. And he eventually stands there for about 2 minutes watching, and then closes the door. And you sort of hear him muttering to himself as he's walking through the house. It's not hard to do an old man voice when I'm old and I'm a man and I have no teeth, so it kind of works really well, doesn't it? Anywho, with that, the girls, you approach the Wachter house. You get to the door. Who is knocking on the door?
I have a feeling I'm knocking on the door.
I have a feeling you're knocking on the door too. So you knock on the door, and after a few moments, the servant opens the door. The gentleman that you spoke, that you was the first time you came here. Again, an older gentleman, and he says, "Good evening. How may I help?"
Hello, Baruf. It is good to see you again. I was just wondering if Nikolai or Carl is in at the moment?
Yes. The boys are here. Would you like to come in?
I would like to actually just see them. I was going to invite them out for the night.
Of course. One moment. I'll be right back. And he closes the door. And 5 or 10 minutes, he comes back, and he doesn't come back. The door opens, and standing before you is Carl and Nikolai, Lady Wachter's sons. Nikolai is the taller of the two. He's about 6'2". Fairly broad shoulders. He's they're not good looking. I mean, they're not unattractive, but they're not overly handsome boys. By the looks of it, they take very much after their mother. She is not a good looking woman. Carl is a little bit shorter and a little bit plumper than Nikolai, but you see that they come to the door, and Nikolai sort of wiping, which looks like chicken grease off his face and beard, sort of wipes his hands and on his shirt. The door opens, and the moment he sort of sees who's at the door, both of them sort of, their demeanour changes almost instantly. Well, good day. And who are you? Do we know you? And you see Carl is he's the wide-eyed, just staring. He hasn't said anything.
We have seen you at the inn in Blue Water before, and we were wondering. I am Satriel, and this is Emilia.
My name's Nikolai, and this is my brother Carl Wachter. We have not seen you at the inn before. I'm sure we would remember. Not very many beautiful ladies like you here in Valaki.
Oh, thank you. Well, we have definitely seen you around, and we were kind of all by ourselves tonight, and we were bored, and we have all these bottles of wine with us, and we thought maybe you would like to go have a couple of drinks together.
Wine? Of course, one moment. And he sort of closes the door, not fully, but it closes it over, and you can hear muffled talking. And you hear Nicola go, clean yourself up. You look, go brush your hair or something, quickly. And you hear Carl, it's, we ain't seen them before, have we? He goes, who cares? They're beautiful. Hurry up. And he opens the door and he says, my brother will be with us in a moment. He's just going to clean himself up. He was a bit scruffy. Apologies to you fine ladies. But of course, we'll love to join you for a drink. Would you like to? Are we going to the Blue Water Inn? It's about the only place to drink in town.
Probably more comfortable there.
Of course. If you would give us, if we really don't like to keep you waiting, but if you give us like 5 minutes just to clean up a little.
Oh, that would be wonderful. We will wait here. And I kind of did I see where anyone was hiding at all?
You would notice Kaunos. He's definitely the most visible, chopping wood across the street. You would probably see. You'd probably know roughly where Skasis is. You probably wouldn't see him from your current position. Fibbleston, you would see as well.
Okay.
But you definitely know they're there.
Okay. And I'll look at Emilia like a little wink, and we wait.
And about 5 or 10 minutes later, they both come back to the door. You see they've changed their clothes, or their shirts, more going out type shirts. It's like a silk kind of shirt rather than a linen one. So it's definitely more upmarket, more noble clothing. They both, looks like they've just sort of licked their hands and smeared their hair down to one side to make themselves look more presentable. They both still look relatively scruffy, like unshaven. Nikolai's got sort of shoulder length, dirty brown hair, and Carl is, even though he's the younger of the two, looks like he's starting to bald on top. It's very thin. But they're not very attractive men at all. I mean, not ugly, but they're very plain looking. But they eventually both come to the door, and Nikolai, being the gentleman that he is, nudges his brother and puts his elbow out for you to take his arm, as a gentleman would. And Carl does the same for Emilia.
You look so handsome. Thank you.
Wait, thank you. You are both very, very pretty. I say we've never seen you in town, but let's go to the inn.
Yes, we have seen you before? Don't you have another brother, Ernest, or someone?
Oh, he's not our brother. He is my mother's servant. You see the look of almost disdain on his face. You can get the impression he doesn't really like him too much.
Yeah. Is it home bothering you then or something?
I have not seen him today. He's usually around somewhere, skulking.
Well, maybe we will be lucky and he won't bother us at the inn then.
Oh, we can only hope. And you leave Lady Wachter's grounds and start heading towards the Blue Water Inn. What are the rest of you guys doing at this point? Do you follow? Or do you remain? Adok, you wouldn't even see what's going on.
No, yet. Whilst I'm in the basket, I'm gonna point in the direction I remember Carlos is in, and then I am going to mutter a little goblin phrase which goes "Maktuk," and then I'm just gonna be like, "Oi, it's Adok. You hear me?" As I said, message.
So in your head, Carlos, you hear Adok, and you hear that message.
Carlos was chopping wood and he's stacking the wood like the old fella's asking, but he's keeping his eye on the girls. And he hears the voice and he's like looking around. And he's like, I can't see Adok, so I carry on chopping wood.
So you don't answer? Don't say anything?
No.
Nope. So you get no reply.
Yeah, a couple of minutes would go by and then I would try it again and say something else.
What would you say?
I would just go, "Oi, dickhead, you can talk to me back in your head. I've learned it from the book."
that now kind of this makes sense. He looks around again and he's like, in my head, but he says it out loud. What are you doing?
You would hear it. Even though he speaks it out loud, you would still hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really know, but apparently I can send you a message this way. I'm in an alleyway in a basket.
And Karnos gets to the point this time. He closes his mouth. Good for you.
But no, it's a strategic position. I'm closer. You just look. You just make the noise of something that doesn't sound normal if we need to do something.
Oh, right. Oh, well, looks like the ladies are on the move, so we're going to have to start moving soon. I've nearly finished stacking this wood.
With that, I'm going to follow the girls at a distance.
Okay, so if you are trying to remain stealthy, you will need to make a stealth check, please, even though you are at a distance. Who else is following the girls? Karnos, you following as well?
I'm going to look for the next, like the direction the girls are going. I'm going to look for the next closest house with a job that can be done. You know, like stacking wood or picking weeds, or if there's a garden with vegetables, I'm going to just tend the vegetables.
I'll say that you can do that, and there are plenty of houses that probably need something along the way that you could either do or pretend to be doing while you're following the girls. So I'll make your stealth check an advantage.
Cool. Like I said, I'm not trying to be stealthy, but
I mean, you're remaining unseen relatively.
Natural 20.
Well done. Natural 20.
That makes it a. That makes it a. Oh no.
It's minus what?
It's not too bad. No, it's not minus, thankfully.
It's not minus, okay.
But I have to take the lower of the 2 dice because it's a disadvantage. Oh no.
No,
advantage and disadvantage. It was normal, so that 20 will do me fine. So yeah, 24.
Okay, so you are able to remain undetected by doing random things along the travel. Skathis, your stealth check, please.
17, but yeah, I'm far enough back, so I'm not using cover.
Okay, so you're following, but again, you are Skathis, you do stand out. You don't know whether they've seen you before. They've seen you, got all of you at the house, but obviously they don't recognise the girls because of the way they're currently dressed and made up, so they haven't recognised the girls straight away. Fibblestib, what are you doing?
I would see what Skath is doing and go, he's not as dumb as he looks. And go help him by, repairing stuff.
Karnos, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Karnos.
So you are now travelling with Karnos. Okay, so I'll let you pair with his stealth check, so you're both together, so that'll be fine. There we go, we have an inspiration for Karnos. Adok, so you've been told by Karnos that the girls are on the move. What are you doing?
Get out of my basket and then start to walk back towards the entrance of the alleyway, look for them and try and follow stealthily.
So stealth check from you as well, please.
I've got a 17.
It's not too bad. So you are all following the ladies as they escort their dates back towards the Blue Water Inn. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session, guys. We'll pick up with the remainder of that incident next week. Obviously, depending on whether Mr. Cameron is working or not, to whether Adok will be here with us, an actual person, or whether I'll be playing Adok, but we'll find out close to the time. Chat, you guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us again this evening, as per usual. Dark Ravine, good to see you in the channel, sir. Been a while. We had a new person pop in there, Yang. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your whole name, but I'll call you Yang. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to smash that follow button while you're here. And as I said, we do this every Wednesday and Sunday night, New Zealand Standard Time. There's Wednesday night for us, so those of you in the US, it's probably late Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. We do the homebrew on Sundays, which is late Saturday night, early Sunday morning for you in the US. For those of you in Australia, you're only a couple of hours behind us, so it's about 5:30ish for you guys as well. The Sunday campaign is starting to wind up. We are getting close to the end of that story. Only a few episodes to go, I think, before we'll get there. So if you want to catch up on all of the episodes from both campaigns, go to the YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you get notifications whenever the new VOD goes up. We put up all the VODs twice a week. So Mondays, the Sunday VOD goes up, and tomorrow I'll be uploading this VOD from tonight's session. So you can catch up on all the stories over there. So before we leave, we are going to do our usual round robin of interesting moments from our panel here. Starting with Skathis tonight. No particular order. But Skathis, a moment or two from you, please.
Well, the one that really, really sticks out is Adok finding out what Emilia really wants the flute for. Oh, come on.
That was. I mean, there's been lots of moments tonight. I won't lie.
And just the general banter for that entire scene play. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. It was an interesting night. It's always an interesting night with roleplay with you guys. It seems to get dirtier and dirtier, though. I don't know how you guys do it, but it just goes there almost every session. It's become a thing for this whole campaign. Both campaigns, this one in particular.
I'm playing Drax for this one.
Oh, totally.
He brought it that far.
Most definitely. Next up, Zedriel. A moment or two from you, please.
I'll pick the most recent two that I liked. Congratulations on being old person. I like that. And I liked, oi, I'm in a basket. Good for you.
Yes, the conversations between Adok and Karnos are definitely a highlight. And Adok, speaking of goblins and baskets.
Yeah, I actually really liked the old fable where Karnos just started. I was gonna say the entire conversation about the flute, but you took that one, so I'm gonna go with the chopping wood. And then Fibblestib going and helping in the garden. I was like, oh, look, a gardener.
I saw that in the chat.
Yeah, you can get fucked roasted.
Hey, you did it. I was like, you got it.
Oh, awesome. That's brilliant. Next up, Fibblestib.
I liked when yeah, the little girl, Adok. Aren't you a little girl? And he drops his... Oh, he's a tripod.
He drops his dex and has an enormous penis. That just worked. I had to do it. It was like,
It's
roll
that.
a d6. Let's find out whether he's got a small penis or a large penis.
Then
Why not?
Karnos was hiding in plain sight by cutting the thing out, and then he had this old man come out, and for once the DM had an advantage. At
Exactly.
doing the voice.
Fuck you too.
But yeah, just like the role play has been really good.
Oh, the roleplay in general is just top notch. I'm enjoying this campaign.
The Wednesday night is just all rules are broken. Just
it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, the Sunday campaign, the roleplay is good, but when you really, it's a different story, different situation, and everything. This one has become something completely different, which is awesome. That's great. I love it. And Emilia. Oh, Ginger.
First of all, I'm going to say that it's not my fault that it got completely disrupted tonight, even though it totally is.
Yeah, that's totally your fault.
My standout moment was when there's the fake ghost naked Emilia and Karnos cut its head off and got an exciting thrill out of murdering Emilia, even though it wasn't real Emilia.
Yes, I was definitely going to mention that.
Got to kill her.
Definitely. But again, I say, guys, for me, the whole night session was good. The role play, the thinking out of the box for what you're wanting to do. I mean, luring out the Wachter brothers by using the girls as bait. What better way to do it in a town where the women here. I mean, you've been here for nearly a week, and the women here aren't overly pretty. I mean, they're all very plain. It's a very plain looking town across the board, but women in red dresses are going to stand out in this town. Attractive women with two youngish drunken louts I thought, well, hey, we're going to see this through, because I think that was a brilliant idea. I mean, I expect you guys to wait just until they got to the inn, wait until they got drunk themselves, and then just started a fight with them to get them into trouble. But going out on a different sort of scenario was really cool. Adox Rictavio's room toss was pretty good, and you did well with that. Sort of, I threw that at him right at the beginning of the show, right before the show started, almost about an hour or so before we started. I said, well, roughly this is what happened to you. This is where you're going to go, so roll with it. So that worked out really well. And yeah, Nutty just pointed out, Carnos's eyes not boobs, her eyes not boobs. Yeah, the whole trying not to check out Zadriel and Emilia in their red dresses, and trying to be PC about looking them in the eyes and not in the boobs. That was pretty cool. I think that's every man's curse anyway. I don't think that was anything that any man has not experienced at some point in their life, almost on a daily. But Blue Jay, yes, it's kind of I mean, I can believe that the Sunday campaign is coming to an end. I mean, it's been running almost 2 years from the time we started went back to the original VOD, and it's been 21 months we've been running that campaign. We started it every twice a month with it, then we moved to once a week, which has moved it along a little bit quicker. But all stories have to come to an end eventually. But as we all know, that once that story does come to an end, we have another mini story lined up with Miss Yanti stepping into the DM shoes for that particular campaign. There will be some familiar faces on the player side of things. I will be streaming it on my channel. I believe Yanti will be streaming it on her channel as well. I'll be streaming it from a player's perspective. Yanti will be streaming it from a DM's perspective. So we will have I'm going to be posting a rare drop link in my chat regularly as a spam, giving you the opportunity to see both streams in the same window so you can watch from both perspectives, which would be pretty cool. After the completion of the mini campaign, which may turn into a carry-on campaign later on, maybe, we'll see how we go, we're going to be looking at the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition story as well. There is some things we still need to work out with that, how the structure is going to go. I've got some ideas on how I want to run that particular campaign as far as the scenes or sessions are concerned, because not everyone is going to need to appear on camera all at the same time every single session. So there will be chances where players may be able to sit out and just watch, because there will be scenes available where they're not actually involved in, so they won't actually need to be on camera. There will be opportunities for guest appearances from other players or other people that are interested. I have spoken to at least one other person thus far that is keen to show up as a guest character. Given, again, depending on the story, we haven't really finalized stories. We haven't sat down as a group yet and discussed what's the campaign's all about. Once again, a different DM will be playing that role. Baz, aka Orgasm, Het, Karnos will be jumping into the storyteller role for that particular campaign as well. So once we've organised the story and we've got through logistics, I'm probably going to shorten those episodes from 3 hours down to 2, based on the fact that most of it, 99% of it, is going to be roleplay, and that it's going to be broken down into scenes almost, where there'll be a particular scene involving particular characters, and we'll run two to 2.5 hour sessions on that, and we'll just run it for however long it runs. Again, depending on the story. We haven't really got a lot of information there yet. We're still reading through rule books and organising characters, and we'll do a get together as a group, organise the finer details, then we'll do a session 0 and stuff, and then get into it when we are ready. So, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Thank you, players.
Before you do, can Baz have a go now?
Have a go what?
He hasn't said his piece yet.
Oh,
what
shit.
Do you like?
I forgot.
Oh, it's all good. It's not
Thanos. I got carried away.
No, you guys all had it pretty much covered. Other than that, I would have just mentioned Fibble fixing the flute holes. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yes, right when he finished carving it and then playing his flute in the middle of.
Yeah, it was good.
But yes, we should probably raid. We got raided ourselves, so we do our usual passing on the raid. And I can find somebody. If anyone in the chat has someone that they would like to raid, let me know. Otherwise, we'll probably grab another D&D raid here somewhere. That one's been running 40 minutes. Call to Arms, the Night Geo. Let's have a look at them.
One of no, I've never. No. That's
Oh, he's
not
ballsed
how
it
we
up.
do it. It's
New to roll
exact
20 by the
opposite.
looks of it. He's balls up his roll 20.
He closed disc. Did he close the audio?
Yes.
He's made a cock up, but we can go raid them, I guess.
I see now.
We
why I've
cannot
gone
hear
wrong.
you, George.
Birthdays, yes.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Speaking of birthdays, Yanti,
Yeah, now
thanks.
we can hear you. Yeah, you're back on the main page.
My birthday tomorrow.
I can see now where I've mixed up.
Noddy's
That's
on
alright.
Friday,
Mark, you get
on
wrong.
Saturday.
It's so beautiful together. It's alright. It's all fine and dandy. Let's go back to
So I'll be around in Discord tomorrow somewhere, and guarantee we'll be around somewhere. Yes, I'm getting older. I'm already old. I'm just getting older.
Screen of combat, and then I just need to make sure I've got that.
And so's Nutty. Haha.
So it's like, whee! Hi George. You're not meant to be there. You're meant to be here.
Old people being old. Yep.
Did you say that
just
you were
someone
going
will
to
just
do
come
another
and chop the
attack
wood
on me while I was
soon and
grappled?
just
Yeah,
start
yeah,
stacking
yeah.
it
Well,
for
if I had a fireplace, that'd be awesome. Unfortunately, I don't have one in fireplace. Yep, I'm level up day tomorrow. My loots have already been epic because I've already gotten my loots for birthday already. So
I'm going to use Stone's
I got a new miniature to scare the crap out of my players with, which is a pit devil, which is really cool. Obviously, I got a 3-headed hellhound as well, which was awesome. I showed you on camera the other night.
Again goes with his glaive and his beard, so his glaive
And
and then as he swings with his glaive,
and I got
his
Black
beam
Ops.
comes up, but
So
instead of
got the
hitting you,
game
it
Black
just
Ops. That was pretty cool.
whips him back into his face, and so I'm actually going to make him hurt himself with
Yes,
that.
it was a Warhammer model,
So yes,
but
that first
I
one
can
does
turn it
hit-
into a
does
D&D
hit
thing,
me
which
as
is
well.
really cool.
Alright, so
Right, guys, that's it from us.
first
We're going to say
one.
goodnight, and we will see you on Sunday night. As I said, hopefully I get all this dual
That
PC
is
stuff set up between now and Sunday. I should be able to. If not, I'm not changing anything on the main PC, so I can still run at single PC if I have to.
As I'm actually going
But
to
we will raid, we will say goodnight, and we'll see you when we see you.
I whip my
Bye.
beard into my face.